All right.
Welcome everyone to Coaster Hour or Coaster Time, hosted by me, Carrick from Coaster Hour. And if you are new, how these live streams work is basically I go through a bunch of different segments such as news, trivia, Q&A, and a lot more where you, the viewers, can participate in. And with me today is returning guest Sean Flaharty. It's an honor to have you back on here again. And if you could, I guess, just introduce yourself and tell us where to find you, that would be great.
Sure. My name is Sean Flaharty, as Carrick has already said, and that is my channel name as well. I don't do any other social media unless you consider YouTube social media, but on my YouTube channel, you will find plenty of vintage coaster videos, some new stuff, random stuff like guitar playing, and live streams with other coaster enthusiasts. So that's the pretty much it for the channel. But thank you for inviting me again, Carrick. This is awesome, and this is my first kind of stream with anyone other than doing one on my own channel in quite a while. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. In the chat, if you could let us know if the audio sounds good, that would be great. And then we'll move on to the news, which we had quite a lot of it. But once again, it's an honor to have you back on.
Well, thank you. I'm keeping up with the YouTube stream too. And number one, hello everyone. And Marty, yes, 10 hours ago, I did a completely random late night stream with the intention that our friends from the other side of the world would have a better chance to chime in. And Marty was the first one to chime in, as he always does on these streams. So nice to see you in here, everyone.
Yep. Good. I saw that come up. I think you did it at what, 2:30 Eastern time, right?
Yeah, I mean, anytime I do one of those streams, they're usually started by Kyle Kruthoffer, who's the video content producer and social media guy for Kings Island, and he obviously works at Kings Island, and he was like, "Hey, I'm doing Winterfest. You want to do a late night stream tonight randomly?" So we did, and we were very, very, very tired, but it was good to talk to some people for a little while.
For sure. I would have tuned in, but it was a little too late for me.
It was late for me as well.
Well, yeah, later for you, but yeah, good stuff. With that being said, we'll move on to the news. I am going to go over some of the IAAPA stuff, even though I did a stream, just because there's quite a bit of it, and that stream didn't have as many views because I was forced to do it at a weird time. So with that being said, one of the big things that happened at IAAPA was that SNS unveiled a new SNS Axis car, along with 2 Axis layouts. As you can see, this is the first one. You can find it on SNS's website. This one's a little bit over 1,600 feet. And there was another one they revealed, which actually I need to get this out of the way. Photo credit to Amusement Insider. I had to reach out to him because I had a hard time finding a picture of this specific layout. But he sent it to me, so credit to him. He has a great channel. I have his links in the description. But this is a 2,000 foot long model, which has some weird elements such as a water in a bucket element. So that's completely unique. A lot of these elements are completely unique. It's a crazy looking coaster. Sean, do you have any thoughts on this?
I'm seeing a lot of this for the first time. Admittedly, I didn't watch a ton of IAAPA stuff just because I was so busy with work projects during the show. And I'm studying this stuff now, and you are right. There is some very odd named elements on this, but I'm really excited to get on one of these. I didn't get to ride the prototype, and this looks like it's going to be even better.
Yeah. I've only had one guest, I think, who's actually ridden the prototype, which honestly I was even surprised that I've had anyone, but I mean, and it looks like they improved the train design. That's what a lot of people said. As we can look here, apparently the restraints are quite comfortable, according to those who actually were able to test it out. So that's good to hear. And this coaster looks great. Still no news as to where this is going to go, but hopefully we'll find out more in the future. Speaking of IAAPA, Intamin revealed a new crisscross hot racer layout. This wasn't really discussed much at IAAPA, but they updated their website right before the event, and this is the layout. They also have videos of this layout and the other two layouts, the Autodrome, which is the big racing one, and the Overdrive. They've gotten rid of the Infinity model on their website, so I'm not sure if they're still selling that or not, but we do have this new layout, and these coasters look like a lot of fun. So nice to see a new layout from Intamin. Any thoughts here?
I think it looks great. I know there's this whole big kick on single rail designs from other manufacturers, and I'm very curious to try, the Intamin version and some of the other stuff that eventually will cross our paths, as they say. But this looks like a lot of fun. I think they're designed not to be crazy rides, but more, fun and just something that you don't have to fight to ride or anything like that. I'm looking forward to riding one.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually going to say almost the exact same thing, that where the RMC Raptors are more just absolutely like bonkers, insane rides, the Intamin Hot Racers look more just like more like truly, purely fun rides. So good to see a different take on the single rail.
Absolutely. They kind of remind me in a way of, and I only got to ride it once, but the jet ski coaster, at San Antonio, the Intamin.
Oh,
Wavebreaker. I'm sorry. Yeah. And
There you
I
go.
only rode it once, but it was a lot of fun. And those types of rides are, family launched rides, but they can still be incredibly fun. And I'm kind of thinking that this might have a similar type of vibe, but we'll see when we ride one.
Yeah, probably a little bit more intense because we do have a few inversions on these, although actually maybe only one on this one.
Yeah, I
But
see
yeah,
that inline twist thing. So, or whatever it's called.
yeah.
Knowing nowadays, it's probably going to be something called like the, you know, decrepit earthworm or something, some weird random name.
Yeah, actually, this was the IAAPA for weird element names, as you'll see a little later. Zamperla, they had some announcements, and this is honestly a manufacturer that I believe is on the rise and deserves to be looked at a little more. They revealed a new family launch coaster, as you can see in this picture. This is what one of the versions they revealed. They can also have a spike, which is pretty cool, a backward spike. So nice looking new coaster model. And of course, it wouldn't be Zamperla without a new flat ride reveal. They have revealed a new Zeta Swing, which they are advertising as the world's tallest pendulum ride. It goes nearly 200 feet in the air, and they also have a double version where there's two of these side by side to increase capacity. So pretty crazy looking ride, and pretty exciting to see this stuff from Zamperla. They also revealed a new lightning car train for some of their upcoming coasters, such as the Double Heart coaster, which is a launch coaster, and other rides they're doing. So a lot of stuff from them.
So I have a question. If they're saying this is the highest pendulum type ride, does anybody know the stats? I'm not going to look them up right now. The stats for the KMG XXL, I think it is. I rode it in a fair in Germany, and I thought it was way over 200 feet, but I could be way wrong as well. I mean, I haven't ridden it since 2007, but this thing looks like a giant, like a skyscraper type ride with a bunch of seats, which is awesome. So
Yeah,
I will ride this for sure if there's one anywhere near me.
for sure. That's kind of the reason I said advertised, because I'm pretty sure there are pendulum rides that are taller than this, but whatever works, I guess. Still
Yeah,
looks pretty good.
yeah, it looks great.
Yep. But the next thing we have is a dark ride, one of two, actually one of three dark ride announcements. Lost Island has announced Volcano. I probably butchered that. Quest for the Golden Idol. This will be a shooting dark ride with physical sets and animatronics along with screens. Going to Lost Island in Iowa, a new park opening next year. This is going to be manufactured by Sally Dark Rides, and looks to be a very high quality themed ride. So definitely something to look forward to, and one of the more sort of under the radar announcements in terms of not something that people were expecting beforehand. So pretty nice looking ride for Lost Island.
Yeah, I mean, number one, Sally does amazing things with their dark rides, and I know dark rides. With the world being so slow over the last year and a half, approaching 2 years, um, things like this are gonna. I think we're really gonna see a comeback for a lot of dark rides and smaller things, and we're obviously going to get some big rides too. But these smaller things are where they'll have the budget to maybe not put in a $25 million roller coaster, but they could put in a $5 million flat ride like nobody's ever seen, or however much they are. I have no idea how any of those are, how much they cost. But okay, here we go. KMG XL is 154. It'll be doing. Oh wow, I thought it was over 200 feet. That's interesting.
For the flat ride?
Yeah.
Huh. Some of those maybe because they're in places where there isn't like a super tall coaster, they maybe seem taller. So
that's true. I thought they were again. It comes down to marketing. They were marketing it as over 200 feet or something, but we didn't know. But fun ride.
Interesting. For this dark ride, this one actually does look pretty ambitious. So I don't know if we do know of a price tag, but it does look pretty good based off the concept art. Will be interesting to see how it is in real life. Also, that park is shaping up to be quite something, Lost Island. So definitely a park to keep an eye on for next year. But speaking of dark rides, we got another Sally Dark Ride announcement. They are going to be opening Treasure Hunt, which will be going to Monterey, California. I have walked up and down this city, or like I guess it's not that big of a city, but I've walked up and down the little Cannery Row. It's like right by the ocean. They have the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which it's going to be pretty close to, which is well known throughout the world. But they're also getting a 20-minute dark ride experience. The dark ride's not actually going to be 20 minutes, but it's going to have like a pre-show and all that. So, and it's going to be a standalone attraction, I believe, owned by Sally Dark Rides, which is pretty interesting. Part of the theming is going to be done with, I think it's called Daniel Woodland. But yeah, that's the ride there. Pretty interesting as well.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been there or know too much about that area. But that's really, really cool. It's strange. There's a Sally Dark Ride. It's a Lego one that's like not even 15 minutes from me, and I've done it once. It's a Lego Discovery Center. Like,
okay,
makes sense. It's for families. You need families to go in, and I was there with a family and got the Dark Ride credit. But it's so strange knowing that, Sally has a ride very close to me, and I don't take advantage of it. I mean, once you do it once, but I would love to see more of those at some of the more mid-sized parks around in the Midwest. I think those would do very well for them.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's super weird that this specific one is literally just a standalone attraction by itself. And I also do have to mention this, there is no like boardwalk park in Monterey Bay. Some people thought it was going to one because I guess Cannery Row sounds like a park to some people. It's not. Like I said, I've walked up and down. I was pretty surprised they got something because I'm like, there's literally nothing around there. So
wow,
pretty weird. But there you go. Of course, the big announcement for a lot of people, Fun Spot Atlanta has officially announced Airy Force One, a crazy looking RMC coaster, will feature 4 inversions and will feature some bizarrely named elements such as the world's first Raven Truss Dive, which is literally a Baltimore Ravens reference, so that is very strange. They will also have a hill called a chili dip that'll lead into a quad down, and they also have a fakey airtime hill, which I don't know who came up with these names, but more weird names, but an incredible looking coaster. Very excited to ride it whenever it opens.
Absolutely. I mean, I haven't been following a lot of like the constructions or announcements all summer. And this was really under the radar, but for me at least, and I know they were doing teases and stuff throughout the summer or whatever, but I kept on hearing little things about this ride just from friends, and then after IAAPA, the people that I know that talked with the folks and got to sit in the train and all that stuff, uh, they're saying that this could very well be the RMC not to miss. That this could be huge, huge as far as ride experience and stuff. And while I haven't watched a POV or any of that stuff and haven't studied it, um, I think it'll be a fun ride. I've been really another thing I've been really kind of doing is not spoiling everything about every ride. I still want a little bit suspense, and it at least for me, it makes me appreciate stuff like that. So I may hold off by understanding 100% of everything that thing does, and just be surprised when I ride it. Who knows? You know.
That's fair. Like I said, this ride looks crazy, and they actually did not release a POV of it. Of course, people have made fan-made POVs, but the trailer they released was kind of like off-ride shots. It was a very weird, like dramatic trailer. Someone had a lot of fun making it. I could tell that, so that's cool. But we actually don't have a POV of this, which is interesting. The train also was revealed. Don't have a picture of that, but you can look at that on your own if you want to look at that. Great looking ride though.
Mm-hmm.
Next we have Chance Rides. This was kind of under the radar. They officially revealed that they are indeed the ones manufacturing Hot Wheels looping coaster, which is going to be a Chance. I think they're literally just calling it a GTX coaster now. Going to Mattel Adventure Park, which is a new park opening late next year in Arizona, in Phoenix, I believe. And they're also doing a junior coaster called Bone Shaker. So that's pretty nice to see that we're getting a new thrilling coaster from Chance Rides, and it should be a lot of fun. This concept art is a little outdated, the one I had to use here. The more recent one they showed seems to show that this coaster may have a launch, but we'll have to wait and see for more information on it. Basically, what we know is they are doing the new coaster for that park.
And this is a very strange tie to this ride that I have, but my mother lives literally a block from where that's being built. Like you can see out her apartment complex. You can see that area being constructed, and she'll be walking distance of a couple of brand new rides, which is awesome because that means it's another reason to go out there and visit.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, so I mean, when I was out there a year ago, there was a news story about them putting in a roller coaster at this area, and I drove by it, and I was like, "What? This doesn't look like a roller coaster would be here." But then they leveled the land and they're building, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy. Like this did kind of pop out of nowhere whenever they announced this park for me. So. It's cool that Arizona is going to have a high-profile coaster because they are definitely lacking in those right now. So
yeah, well, I mean, the two they have there are the O.D. Hopkins strange ones.
Yeah.
So if you hear a noise, my cat is trying to jump up on my lap and he purrs very loudly. So
that's all right.
Maybe not.
Anything else, or will we move on to the next news topic, I guess?
Yeah, let's do the next news.
Alrighty. This one is a little bit more under the radar. Extreme Engineering has revealed that two of their cloud coasters, I believe they're Cloud Coaster Storms, which is this one here on the right, and a Surfin' Tsunami coaster, which is, I guess, the closest thing we currently have to a surf coaster. You literally stand on it like you're on a surfboard. Two of the cloud coasters and one of the Surfin' Tsunami coasters will be opening in the next 2 years at unannounced locations. That is what Extreme Engineering has revealed. Pretty strange looking rides. They have built some coasters before, but we'll have to see how they do. Very weird looking coasters for sure, though.
Wow, they're very, very. I mean, again, single rail type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they're trying to get ahead on the quote unquote surf coaster thing.
Yeah.
has been rumored to happen. So who knows?
Yeah, everyone was looking for the B&M surf coaster, but instead we end up with this thing. So, I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess. The next thing we have is one of the other more well covered announcements, and that is that Ride Entertainment revealed Palindrome, a new Gerstlauer Infinity shuttle coaster going to Coda Land in Austin, Texas, along with Skyblazer, which will actually be sort of like it's not quite a sky coaster, but it's pretty close, but it has higher capacity. It's from US Thrill Rides. I think the model is actually called Skyblazer. They are also adding this, and both will be coming next year. Skyblazer will open in spring, or at least it's scheduled to, and the coaster is supposed to open late next year. So, pretty interesting announcement, and actually a great announcement for this park because they're very new, and so it's great to see them getting some large scale additions.
Yeah, it's a very strange looking ride, and that sky coaster thing's pretty cool too. I always wanted to see someone do that, like put a huge vehicle on one. Um, it's strange because when I see Coda in Coda Land, and here in Columbus, Ohio, our entire transportation system's called Coda, Central Ohio Transportation.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. So we just refer to everything as Coda. Oh, there's the Coda bus and all that. So when you hear this, I'm like, oh, automatic. I think there's going to be buses at this park, but no, it's a different type of thing.
Yeah. CODA, for those who don't know, actually stands for Circuit of the Americas. This is a park nearby a racetrack that is actually the only racetrack that consistently hosts Formula One races in the entire US. They also host, I think, NASCAR and other things. I'm not so sure about the NASCAR, but I know they do other racing car leagues as well. So there you go. And this park definitely is one that's on the rise. So in Austin, Texas, that's a major city that didn't really have a big coaster. So they're going to have that and a Schwarzkopf Wildcat coming pretty soon because that park is also getting that. So that's pretty cool. And then we have our next thing, which is a Triotech announcement. Triotech in Clifton Hill announced a new dark ride called Carnival Chaos Hyper Ride, which will be the first ever Triotech hyper ride using their new system. It will be a shooting ride of sorts, and it will be located at Niagara Falls. I think basically the system, it's hard to explain. I guess I could have gotten a picture of it if I found one, but if you can look at more into it, they even had like a little model and stuff. It's hard for me to explain it, but this will be the first of its kind, I suppose.
That's awesome. Triotech put some good stuff out there. So next time in Niagara Falls, hopefully it'll be open. I haven't been there in years though, so I need to get back.
Yeah, I mean, there's already quite a bit to do over there. There are some rides, but just like obviously you have the falls, and there's a decent amount of stuff over there. So nice to see another addition for them. Next, we have Wallaby Rhone Alps. I think they actually did already reveal this exotic island area, which will first open in 2022 with a few family rides, but it will be completed in 2025. And during IAAPA, they actually signed a contract to get a new Intamin coaster in 2024. We have no idea what the Intamin coaster is going to be, but we do know they signed a contract. There were pictures of Intamin and some of the, I think, leadership from the park at the table, and so it's pretty much confirmed they did sign a contract for that. So something exciting to look forward to, but we have literally no idea what it is, but the area should be nice.
Cool.
But yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Is the dark ride on the US or Canada side?
I believe it's on the Canada side. I believe it is. I would like to say it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on the Canada side. But good question. So that's Exotic Island. And then we'll move on to the non-IAAPA news. This was also some news from last, I guess 2 weeks ago almost. But there were a lot of rides that were being announced to be, I guess, resurrected. and one of those is Santa's Village. They are bringing back Escape from Dinosaur Beach in 2022. This dinosaur animatronic has nothing to do with the ride. It's just a what is it, Creative Commons dinosaur thing. But basically, this was a dark ride that Sally made, another Sally dark ride that operated at a New Jersey boardwalk park that when it closed, it was called Dinosaur Beach. It didn't operate there for very long, but it closed in 1998, so it hasn't operated in 24 years. And I guess it's been in storage for a while, and Santa's Village in Illinois, out of all places, is bringing it back.
Boy.
So weird.
It's a very strange park.
Yeah, but that's what they're gonna do, it looks like, so that's cool.
Wow. Okay.
In a little more, I guess, not quite as strange resurrections, Kangaroo is returning to Kennywood in 2022. I did mention in last episode, part of me kind of thinks that they were always going to bring this back, just some way, somehow. And maybe they needed to refurbish it or do a major refurbishment, but they have brought it back, which is nice. Or they are going to bring it back next year. And so that's really nice because it's the only ride of its kind in the entire world. So a much appreciated addition or return, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, I have mad respect for that because that may have been like the very first flat ride I ever rode. I mean, not at Kennywood. I rode it, I think, like the Ohio State Fair when I was a kid or something. And I've always been intrigued by them. I mean, no, I don't call them I don't count it as a roller coaster. I know it has a coaster in the name, the manufacturer name, but they're just a fun ride. Nice little pops of airtime. And if anybody has never had a chance to do one and you're planning on going to Kennywood this year, please, please, please hope that ride is open and you get a chance to ride it. Even if it has a long line, it is worth a ride.
Absolutely. I'm happy that I will probably be able to get a chance to do it because I'd never gone. And last year that was... I was pretty bummed to hear that it was going away, so great to hear it's coming back for sure.
Yeah, great news.
And then another crazy one. Tobu Zoo in Japan has announced the return of Regina. It will reopen in 2023 with a new steampunk theme. This is the concept art for it. GCI Millennium Flyer trains. Some sort of refurbishment. I don't know if GCI is going to give the Ghost Rider treatment exactly, but I know there is some sort of, I think, overhaul that's going on there. But this is pretty crazy after they originally said this coaster was going to close forever. Then it was on the rides like sales website, and now it's coming back. It's just crazy. And I mean, yeah, this is just absolutely wild.
I'm really floored by this. Now, given I have ridden Regina back in 2005, and I rode it one time, and it wasn't my idea of a fun ride. I mean, I got thrashed around it quite a bit. But when I went back in 2019, I was sad to see my friends didn't get to get on the ride because it was already closed. And all they told us at the park was it was yearly maintenance. And then after we got home, we heard that it was closing for good, as they said. And I'm shocked by this. So maybe whatever they do to fix it, they can fix it up and make it into a really good wood coaster that I think it has potential to be. It just didn't when I rode it in 2005.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would say that this coaster has a lot of potential, and hopefully, finally, it'll actually be realized. And for Tobu Zoo, I am certainly surprised to see that they are able to do this, but it's a welcome surprise for sure.
I'm very shocked the park is spending money because the park it's not what you think of like a big Japanese park is. It's very small. There's a lot of stuff usually closed there because there's just not a lot of people that come to it. But maybe this will be a turning point for them. Who knows?
Hopefully. Hopefully this does turn things around. Next, we have an announcement related to Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. They will be putting a spinning back car on the coaster in 2022. So Steel Typin will not be the only, I guess, like mock launch coaster that now has a spinning back car. icon will have it as well. And I guess they're calling the back car Enzo, which I do believe actually does mean circle in Japanese. So that's pretty cool. Might take a while. I don't know if it didn't sound like they were going to make it an upcharge, but the wait for the back car might be long is the only concern I would have. But looks
True.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely like to try that.
Yeah, it looks it. I'm curious about what people will think about it, because it does seem like a really interesting change for sure.
Yeah, and
Next,
then
oh wait,
well, I
I'll
was
go
gonna say,
back.
then you can think of if they can do it with that one car, whether they eventually do just one whole train, or who knows. So
Yeah, that would probably be. I don't know what they would be thinking of. They're only experimenting with like the back car right now, but we'll see what happens in the future. Next, we have Adventureland Long Island. They have announced Fireball, North America's first Ride Engineer Switzerland Rollerball. So that's pretty surprising. This is the Adventureland in New York, not the one in Iowa. So yeah, pretty interesting addition for them.
really strange. I don't know if anybody in here remembers. I know some of the older enthusiasts will. Hershey Park at one point was going to get something
Yep.
very, very similar to this, and then they had to cancel the project mid-project.
Yeah, it was, I think, from a different manufacturer
It
than,
was.
yeah, the manufacturer, I forget what happened with them, but Ride Engineer Switzerland picked up the model, and then now we have this, so that's pretty cool. Actually, the first one of these was actually in, I think at Schwaben Park, which was called Wilda Hilda, which is the coaster with the chicken theme. That was the first one
Okay,
of
I've
these.
seen that then.
Yeah. So it's in which that's a pretty interesting looking ride. So it's pretty interesting we're getting one here in the US for sure. The next thing we have is an incident that happened. A fire broke out near Yoshi's Adventure at Universal Studios Japan. No one was hurt, but it did force Super Nintendo World to close for, I believe, 2 days. One day when it happened, and then just another day afterwards. But the area has reopened. Yoshi's Adventure, as of the last time I checked, is still closed. Probably just making sure everything's all good there. So nothing too major, but this is something that did happen. It's the second incident that's happened on this ride this year. The first one involved a stack of Goomba animatronics falling on the ride path, which no one was hurt in that, but it was kind of funny because it's literally like a Mario enemy, and so it literally tried to attack people, I guess. So, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to phase 2 of that park, that area.
Oh, yeah,
So,
for sure.
not that I'm not looking forward to phase 1, but phase 2 is going to be really, really cool. So
Yep. And then there's sad Californians who are going to be stuck with a tiny version of this area that's only going to have one ride, but it is what it is. Excited to see the new Donkey Kong coaster for sure.
well, yeah, that's the
So,
thing I'm
yeah.
the most excited about. So for a few different reasons, but I will be there when that thing opens. That's going to be a lot of
Nice.
fun.
Yeah, might be a little bit, but I think
Yeah.
they have started work on it, so
Mhm.
there you go. Next, we have ride openings. I should mention the Yoshi's Adventure news was like the start of the news that I hadn't talked about in the last stream, so that's why things might seem a little out of order. But all we have is Wacky Worm at Uncle Bernie's, which is a tiny park in Florida that used to have a Lil Phantom clone, so now they replaced it with a Wacky Worm. I forget who the manufacturer is, but very nice.
I love the fact that you just said Little Phantom clone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It not much else to say. I mean, I guess for anyone who lives near there, you have a new credit, so that's cool.
yeah.
I actually do know someone who lives by there, so that is something. But in more exciting news, we do now know that Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind will open at Epcot in summer of 2022. We already knew 2022, now they give us summer, so that's great to hear. And they also gave us a nice new poster, so yeah.
It's Johannes, do you think Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind would be the most themed coaster ever? You know what? I don't know. I don't know anything really about it, what's going to go inside or any of that. I just haven't been paying attention. But knowing what they did with, Tower of Terror and the retheme of that, that was done really well, I thought. So,
Oh, you actually did ride that?
which one?
The Guardians Tower? Or have you
Yeah,
ridden
the one in
it?
California.
Oh, you've ridden that also? That's cool.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about whatever Tower of Terror. It's called Mission Breakout now.
Yeah, yeah. That was so you have ridden. I've ridden it as well, and I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I've ridden 3 of those now. I've ridden the one in California before it was Guardians, but then I rode it with Guardians.
That's cool.
The one in Florida and the one in Japan, which is a whole different story on its own. So,
Nice. I also that the Guardians retheme was pretty controversial. Being here in California, there's a
oh,
lot
I'm
of
sure.
mixed feelings. Not even just with like coaster and theme park enthusiasts, but just like people at school were talking about it. So, but I enjoyed it. So excited to see this new coaster. It's probably gonna be pretty nuts. We don't know that much about it, but it's probably gonna be pretty crazy. So can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's going to be fun.
Next thing we have is Walt Disney Studios. They will be opening their own Avengers campus in summer of 2022. I believe the rides that will be featured here are an Iron Man themed coaster, which is replacing Rock and Roller Coaster. It's just that ride, but Iron Man themed. They're gonna have I think Web Slingers, Spider-Man Web Slingers, I think is gonna be part of it as well, if I'm not mistaken. So. If anyone else knows of any of the other attractions, if there are any that are going to be there, then you can comment. But exciting new addition for a park that desperately needs something. So there you go.
Oh, Marty, I just saw your news. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's good. But what was I going to say? Yeah, Avengers Campus looks like a good addition. Any thoughts here?
I know I don't know much about the other one, the campus. I mean, other than the Spider-Man Dark Ride thing,
Yeah,
which
that's
I
like
think would be
basically the only
amazing.
ride we have here. So
Yeah, and I'd still love to check it out, but I'm not the biggest Disney park fan. I am, but at the same time, I'd rather hit the more of the thrills type stuff. So I know what they'll do. It'll just knock our socks off like they always do, But that might be another one of those things where I just go in completely blind and just not know anything about it. So we'll see as it gets closer.
yeah, for sure. Most Disney stuff, I don't really look into it too much, just because I'm like, I just don't want to. So, yeah. Next thing we have is Maurice Piers has removed Rolly's coaster. This was a Pinfari Zyklon that was, I guess, more for families. It may return. We don't know yet. Maybe they were just doing some stuff with it, but for now it has been removed. I mean, we'll see what happens basically. So, but even if it did get removed, hopefully they'll replace it with a good attraction, I suppose.
I think I have a POV of that ride on my channel from opening year, if I'm not mistaken. It was like the first time I ever went to the piers in 1998.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably. This ride, I forget when it opened, but it's been there for a decent bit, so that also is something to note. But that's cool that you have at least ridden it and probably have a POV, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small one, but it has its purpose.
Yep. So hopefully whatever replaces it, if it is indeed gone, will be a good attraction as well. Next, we have a new land clearing that was spotted at Himeji Central Park in Japan. If you see on the left, there are actually what appear to be footers as well, several of them, kind of in the white area. So a lot of people are speculating, could this be the return of Venus GP from Space World? which is a park that closed. This was Mauer's first coaster. It was the one that had the inversion sit-down looper. They actually do have that coaster in storage here. It's been sitting there for a little bit now. So people are wondering, is this going to be the return of that? We'll have to wait and see.
This is very interesting because I've only been to that park one time, and that was 2005. And the green coaster you see in the background, that was in pieces in the parking lot when I was there.
Huh.
And it came from another Japanese park. And I didn't go on the 2019 trip. I took a day off from visiting any parks that day. And the rest of the guys went, and I really, really wish I would have, because number one, they got that credit that I was missing, the green one. It's built now. But they got to do, this is the same park that has a demon drop, first gen Intamin thing, where you can take water buckets on with you and get soaked. It's hilarious looking.
Yeah, I remember seeing videos of the drop tower and with the water buckets. That's pretty insane.
Oh, someone said it's not for Venus. Interesting.
Someone on Reddit has said it's not for Venus. Actually, I was gonna mention this. There's some people saying that it might be a return of a go-kart thing. The footers, I don't know if that would be it. And like I said, it's rumored. It's speculation. Who really knows at this point? But what we do know is there's a land clearing. And we'll see if a new coaster goes into its place, if it's Venus GP or if it is a go-kart thing. We'll see what happens. But I know there's a lot of people arguing and speculation, but we'll see what happens, basically. That's why I have Venus GP as a question mark, because who knows if it'll really happen.
Is Venus GP the one with the big space shuttle?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I did that one. I didn't do the Intamin launch one. It wasn't there, but yeah, that thing, Venus has a lot of G's. That's what I remember.
Yeah, and actually, I think Saturn is supposed to open somewhere. That's the Intamin. It's supposed to open somewhere in Russia, I think, but it hasn't happened yet. So the Aero Hyper is completely dead as far as I know. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with this plot of land. Next, we have Rolling Thunder. This is a new SBF Visa mix coaster. It's, I believe SBF Visa's original figure 8 layout, I'd like to say. But they put a hamster wheel on it. This is the one that actually was at IAAPA. They are now building it at Big Rivers Water Park near Houston in Texas. So if you live out there, this is another new coaster, another new coaster for Texas. There's going to be, I think, 7 of them opening within the next 12 months, which is just wild. So that's pretty insane.
I haven't done the hamster wheel yet. I want to try that.
I've heard mixed things about it, but I want to try it at the very least. So we'll see. But yeah, there you go. Another new coaster. And then Alabama Adventure has fooled us. They said they were going to announce something on Thanksgiving, and then they're like, you actually have to wait till Christmas. So we're going to they will announce their new for 2022 attraction on Christmas. That was their announcement on Thanksgiving, was that they were going to announce it on Christmas. But we do at least know now that they have completely debunked a water ride. So they said it will be it'll be a ride, not a slide. So we have that. And I'm still sticking to my Gravity Group Woody prediction. So that's that. And it's going to be on Zoomerang's plot of land, which is why I have that in the picture.
I never even got to see the park with that coaster in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how long I've been there. I don't remember when they even added that thing. I mean, I used to go to that park all the time the first 2 years it was open, when it was called Vision Land.
Yep.
But yeah, never got to see the boomerang there.
It literally came and went, I suppose. So.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kind of like for a lot of people, I think Stinger was kind of the same way at Dorney Park.
Yeah.
So there you go. So we'll have to see what they get on Christmas. Next bit of news, Big Dipper at Luna Park. This is the Intamin single rail coaster, is now doing full circuit tests. Like I said, and like Sean said, these rides look more to be like fun rides than necessarily like super crazy intense rides, and that definitely seems to apply with this coaster. But it's going to be exciting to see this finally open, hopefully within the next few weeks. So something to look forward to there.
Oh, that's interesting. There's single. I mean, it makes sense. It's just weird seeing cars like that with single seats.
Yep. Yeah, it does look pretty odd.
Yeah,
Um,
Marty, you'll have to give us a report because Marty lives kind of in that area. So,
oh, that's cool. That'll be
yeah.
nice to hear about.
Well, he's in New Zealand, but I mean, short flight, right, Marty? If you can get out.
Yeah, there's a lot in Australia that's going to be coming within the next 12-ish months. So uh, that's certainly exciting for sure too.
Oh yeah.
And then we have our two things that came out today. I am gonna mention these both as rumors. The first one, I'm pretty confident that it is like legit, but there is a lot of people saying that the website could have easily been faked. Hopefully it's not. But Thorpe Park launched a new website where more information about a new roller coaster proposal will be released on December 10th. Apparently this is similar to what Chessington did with their new coaster, which we now know will be a B&M wing shuttle coaster, which is very strange. But Thorpe Park, hopefully this is real. It seems like it is. Should be. But I just had to throw out there that it might be a rumor because there have been fake sort of prank, I guess, teases. But this would be hard to fake because they created a website and there's flyers going out now too. So we'll see. Hopefully this is real. This is huge for UK coaster enthusiasts if it is.
And I believe isn't the tallest roller coaster in the UK coming next year? Someone recently told me that, and I don't have any other info other than that. It would make sense if it was something like this, but who knows?
There's a lot of rumors. I don't think we're gonna see it next year because I don't think there's been enough. There's been some rumors about this, maybe about the UK's tallest coaster coming soon. So some people believe this is going to be a B&M Hyper, which I do kind of think this is going to be, but I think it might actually be a mini Hyper. I don't know if it'll actually beat out Big One. We'll see. But given the amount of work done, I think it's sort of expected that this would be a 2023-2024 edition, something like that, especially if they're still in like the proposal phase of things. So we'll see what happens. I think hopefully December 10th will give us more information. But my prediction for this is it is going to be a B&M Hyper of some sort, whether that is truly over 200 feet or under. That's my prediction. So we'll see. And then this is another rumor. This was an Australian coaster enthusiast Facebook page put this out there. But supposedly, Buzzsaw at Dreamworld Australia, which closed earlier this year, has been sold to, oh boy, I'm gonna butcher this, Gambaya World, which is also in Australia, but near Melbourne, which is one of their larger cities. So, this was, like I said, from a coaster enthusiast fan page. I don't know why they would make this up. I have tried to reach out to the park to see if they can confirm. Haven't gotten anything yet, but that was literally a few hours ago. So that's why I'm saying it's a rumor. But if it is legit, it's a good thing that this coaster is staying in Australia because it looked like a pretty solid one and it hadn't been around for that long. So that would be good for sure. Mauer Skyloop.
Those things are scary.
Yeah, they do look pretty imposing, I guess, like just super weird structures and everything.
They just at least when I ride them, I've only ridden two of them, two or three, I can't remember. But when you're going up that lip or that lift and you go upside down and then see the inversion with nothing around it, It's really strange.
It's also like the only coaster where I would potentially be legitimately afraid of getting stuck upside down, considering it
It's
has.
happened. It's happened on
Yeah,
that.
it's happened before, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like I could see that where that happens. Like other ones would be really difficult, but because you literally are upside down during the chain lift portion, like I mean that's pretty nuts. So,
Oh yeah.
um, but it's a good thing if this is staying in Australia, at least I think, because these rides are there are a few of them out there, but there's not a lot of them, so it's pretty unique and I've heard good things about this one, so that's good.
Okay.
And that's gonna wrap up the news. That was quite a bit to go through with some of the stuff that happened last week, but hope you enjoyed. And with that being said, we're gonna move on to our first Q&A, which will be followed by our quiz. So ask any questions you have. And actually, Sean, if you have any last things to say about any of the news or anything, you can say them now.
No, I think you did a great job with that, man. I mean, I learned some stuff in there because, like I said earlier, I haven't been really following a lot of it, and it's good to hear news and not know everything, you know.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't get that luxury most of the time, but
well, yeah, well, you guys are invested into all of the social media and the news and all that stuff. So, um, okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm probably going facing backwards, Drayton Manor Shockwave facing backwards. So I had always wanted to do that because I knew for ERTs they would allow riders only during ERT face backwards in the stand-up trains. I couldn't wait
ooh,
to do it. My first time riding it standing backwards is in the back row, and right before we leave the station, the ride operator says, "Do not put your face onto the headrest, or you'll break your nose. Tilt your head sideways."
oh
And when
my
an
god.
operator's telling you that, then you know you probably shouldn't be standing it that way. But I did that. You hold on to the big stem that holds the restraint system together, and I won't ever do it again. It was insanely violent and not in a good way. But I did it, you know. So um, let's see. Okay.
Wait,
Good question.
how do you write it backwards?
You just stand in the restraint the exact same opposite
Oh
with
my
your arms
god.
back and in your head to your side. And those were intimate restraints, so they kind of had a weird thing. But I think the park got in trouble for allowing people to do it during ERT and no other time, so they just stopped it altogether. We may have been one of the last to do it. I have a picture somewhere of me leaving the station holding on to the thing, being like, "Oh, this could be a bad idea," and it was a bad idea. I won't do it again. Um, all right, let me see here. How was your ride on a Velocicoaster? I didn't have expectations because I went into it really blind. I didn't want to study the layout and all that. Velocicoaster is easily one of my favorite coasters I have ever ridden. I only got to ride it like 6 times, which is more than I know a lot of people ride. But that thing to me is about the most perfect you can get on a coaster design with that type of ride. It made me laugh continuously. It's smooth. Anybody can ride it. It's highly recommended to go ride it. It really, really, really impressed me. I haven't been that impressed from a roller coaster in a long time. Have you ever been stung by being on a roller coaster the last time you were still on the stream? No, I haven't been. I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the most mediocre coaster I've ridden. Oh
Oh,
man, I'm gonna say a kind of safe answer in Grizzly in California. That ride just doesn't do much, and everybody I know gets a lot of flack for not doing much, and I agree. It just doesn't do much. It's got a purpose, but um, it's mediocre in my opinion.
I don't
What
know that
park
it has
did
a
you guys?
purpose anymore. I do
Well,
not
that's
like
true.
it.
Unless it's there to make it something better in the future. Who knows? But
I think
what
they're supposed to take it out maybe, so we'll see what happens with Grizzly.
what park did I get on this year? I didn't do very many parks. I did Kings Island just like for a day and a half, Cedar Point once, and then I did the Florida. I did Islands Adventure Universal and SeaWorld, and the the Old Town parks, and that's it. Well, I did go to Holiday World, but I mean, this year's been a very off year for me. By design, I needed to take a break, and now I'm really getting back into it as safe as I feel like getting into it. I'm not just going to jump right back into it again, but you can get burnt out that way easy.
Let's see. For parks, because I actually don't know that I mentioned all these on a stream before. I've done Disneyland twice. I've done Pacific Park because I needed to get West Coaster, which I actually enjoyed it. Back row actually does have some good airtime. I mean, for what it is. And then I've done Knott's Berry Farm or Knott's Scary Farm once. So, not a bad year, all things considered, like just because everything was closed for a while. So there you go.
Yeah, it's still a kind of a makeup year for a lot of people, I think. Oh, Vertigo at Cedar Point. Yeah, I rode it many, many times. I don't think I ever had video of me riding it. I rode the one at Magic Mountain, and then literally the next day I got home, the one at Cedar Point opened, so I rode that a ton of times. I love that thing. It was scary. It's definitely the most scary of those types of things I've done. So.
Oh shoot! I didn't even know they had one of those things. Wow.
Oh yeah. I've got off-ride video of it from Magic Mountain the day I was there, which I shot the same day I recorded the X testing footage back in 2001. So, Vince, I'm obligated to give you a thumbs up every time you wear that shirt on the stream. Okay, Casper College. I didn't go to Casper College, okay? Casper College is in Wyoming, and what I do for a living with the Eyes of Freedom, we had a tour, and it stopped there, and that's where I met Civilian Satellite, Vince. He was working on a video that had nothing to do with roller coasters. And as the story goes, and he can verify, we were at an Olive Garden, and he sat next to me in the booth to show me the video he worked on, and we exchanged information. And as if I remember correctly, I was passing my name on a piece of paper to you, and you're like, "Wait, are you a coaster person?" And he pulls out his ace card. I'm like, "There's another one of you in this world." And if I'm not mistaken, Vince is the only ace member in Wyoming. So,
oh wow,
yeah, good dude, man.
That's cool.
But anyway, that's where I got the shirt from. He lives in Casper, so
that's cool.
Worst wooden coaster you recorded a POV of?
That's got to be a hard decision.
Rattler, probably.
Oh,
yeah. Most unpopular opinion, coaster, non-coaster related. It's not very popular, but vinyl records sound better than any digital I've ever listened to. Sorry, I'm a vinyl head. Oh, yes, Grizzly is so boring. Automatic top 10. Do you think Air Force One will be a top 10? It could very well be, yeah.
In the world? I think it definitely has a chance, yeah.
Okay. What's a coaster you did not like when you first rode it, but now enjoy? Bonus points for a coaster that's not T3. Okay, you got me there. You know what? Ooh, that's a good one, Vince. Oh boy. Probably. You know what? I'm going to say the Coney Island Cyclone. I'm not a big fan of, but when I rode it the first time, I didn't like it, and I rode it the second time, and I understood it better. But it's still not one of my favorites, so maybe that's the safe answer. Any plans for Asia? Not anytime soon. The same guys I went to Japan with in 2019, we had talked about doing China in 2020. Obviously, that didn't happen, and then everything just kind of dissolved. So I don't know where that happens, but I did photos for Orlando. Mind Blower is very intense. It is very intense. It throws you around. I only rode it once. I rode it in the front seat, which is apparently the place to ride. It throws you around and it lets you know who's in charge, but it didn't give me a headache. I didn't find it offensive, but I could easily see how that ride would not be for a lot of people. It's not one you can just sit back and enjoy. I'll just say that. But I had a lot of fun on it. Dippin' Dots at Six Flags. Don't know if I have. I know that's a running joke from back in the day, but hello, Andre? Is that how you say it?
Andrea.
Sorry.
Or Andre. Yeah. And yes.
Did you get to ride the Rattler when it was originally? No, I rode it after they lifted up the height. and it just became a big bowl of dirty yarn, if you want to call it that. But oh, sorry to say you've been sick, man.
Oh yeah,
Go to
that
your place
sucks.
at
Hope you
Kings
get over
Island.
that.
You know what? So here's another unpopular opinion. I don't like to eat park food very rarely. So if I
Ooh.
at Kings Island, I'll get a slice of pizza, maybe at La Rosa's. But I've never owned a food pass thing because to me it encourages me to want to eat in the park. And while Kings Island has really seriously upped their games as far as food options go, it's still I'm not at the park usually long enough to want to get hungry enough to eat at a park. And if I do, I'll eat somewhere randomly, but I don't really have a go-to there or any park, other than Knoebels. I always get their pizza. So Colorado Adventure. What is Colorado Adventure?
Colorado Adventure is the mine train at Fantasia Land.
Okay, when I wrote it, it had the name Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson's
Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
It was a good. I only rode it once. I remember it being a decent mine ride. I love that park so much. That's a must-to park for me to return to. I haven't been there since what was new the year I was there, Black Mamba. So Lakeside
Wow.
Amusement Park in Denver. I love Lakeside. When I was Ace PR, we had an event there, and just a classic, charming park. I'd much prefer to spend time there than at Elitch's because Elitch's was kind of jacked up when I was there last. Major hobbies outside of coasters? Yeah, I mean, I play guitar and create music just for fun. I travel a lot for work, and I do a lot of work for veteran organizations. I'm not a veteran myself, but I feel that it's, I was never able to go into the military, so the least I can do is give back and do stuff like that now. Olympia looping in December, which is the best one to sit in front of. Olympia looping in the front is amazing for the loops. Remember that. If you can get it on a cold night, it really flies well when it's chilly out.
I'll keep that in mind for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy ride. When do you think the next first generation will come with USA? Oh, I don't know.
Actually, okay, I have something for this. So, well, I don't have a prediction. Sorry about that, but I do have some potential information. Anyone who hasn't, look up the recent ACE interview they did with Vekoma. They did it with Benjamin. I'm gonna butcher his last name. I don't know if it's Blumendahl. I don't know how you pronounce his last name, and the other guy from Vekoma. But they did an interview with them at IAAPA this year, and they seem very interested in getting their coasters over to the States. They recently opened an office in Orlando to try to help out sales and things of that sort. And just go watch it. I can't quite explain everything, but I think we're going to see it like a new coaster from them sooner rather than later. So, yeah. Don't know that I have a prediction for that, though.
Yeah. Well, that'd be awesome because I really want to try one of those. I would, because once is here in the States, then it's just going to go like wildfire, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Medusa at Discovery Kingdom. Yeah, I enjoyed Medusa. It was a very unique layout.
It's a good ride, yeah.
Yeah, it's comfortable. There are a few Olympic Pee-wees last year.
Oh, the Mosasaurus roll is what the
That's Morris. I said it wrong. It's the best inversion I've ever experienced, and that is it's a direct nod to Maverick in the design. The Intamin engineers didn't come up with that layout. That was Universal staff, and the guy that designed the second half to the end, that was important for him to get that inversion in that ride. And Intamin apparently wanted to do it a little bit differently. He said, nope, it has to be like that. And I'm so glad he stuck with his idea because I've never experienced an inversion like that where you go through the spin so fast, but while you're upside down, you get upside down ejector airtime. It's really strange. Just again, I can't say enough good things about that ride. I miss it so much. And I'm going to Florida again for work here soon, but I won't be able to hit any of the parks. I won't be anywhere near them. But I'm thinking like, man, I could take 2 days and just go ride that again. But I have to wheel it back a little bit.
And then let's see, anything else?
New Fiesta Texan Dubai B&M Dive. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Yep.
Yep.
I think there's going to be some more announcements randomly peppered in that weren't ready for IAAPA. So I think the
Yeah.
surprises are definitely, we're going to see some more of them.
Yeah. Probably both new ride models and just like park announcements, because there's some new ones that are supposed to come for next year that they haven't announced it yet. And it's like super weird. It's like usually you know about the new for whatever year coasters the year before, but there's a few of them we're not, so that's pretty strange.
Yeah.
But just want to say before we get back to the questions, I do have the quiz code up. It's pinned in the chat, so we're going to be doing a quiz here for trivia, 10-question trivia. Anyone who wants to join can do that. And with that being said, we'll get back to answering questions. So I see
I will
someone's
watch the
asking
quiz.
for... Oh, wait, sorry, what were you saying?
I would say I'll watch the quiz. I always like watching you guys do it. You're faster than I am, even though I might know the answer. You guys are quicker at it than I am.
Yeah.
Uh,
Someone was asking what's the most anticipated ride for 2022. We'll
Oh.
go into that a little later.
Okay.
I actually have a specific thing for that. That's one of the two topics I added in. So yeah.
Would you put Eurostar over any of the B&M inverted you've written? No.
That thing looks like a train wreck.
It was better than I thought it would be, but it was violent, and there was we rode it in a downpour, and there was only 4 of us on the train, so the train was really rattly.
Oh boy.
But it's interesting to know that you rode such a large portable inverted coaster. It doesn't make any sense when you see it. You're like, nobody was riding it when we were there, but
Probably scared everyone off.
Yeah, probably so.
Oh my god. Let's see, anything else? Any other questions I'm missing? I know there was a question earlier about a coaster that, what was it, did not like at first, but now enjoy. I know you mentioned, well, you couldn't say T3, and
Yeah.
the one you mentioned was Coney Island Cyclone. I guess, what was it? I do have one for this, or two,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess. What was it? Viper at Magic Mountain. I hated it when I first rode it, and the last time I rode it, I actually thought it was pretty good. So, and this one's interesting. I haven't really said this, but when I rode Tatsu in 2014, I was not a big fan of it. But in more recent years, I've grown to like it a lot more, and it's in my top 15 overall. So, that's another one. So,
That's cool.
those are
really
some
cool.
for that.
Viper's another. Yeah, Viper. I had a love-hate relationship with it. Magnum at Cedar Point, I've had a love-hate relationship with. But scariest thing I've done is SCAD diving. I never get used to it. I love it, but I haven't done it in many, many years. What about you?
So I just saw both of us.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. I don't know, because I mean, I've done things that like people would consider scary, but in the moment I don't. Like, I've done a little bit of zip lining, and I've swam in what was once the world's largest aquarium tank, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, at Georgia Aquarium. So I've done that, but I wasn't like horrified when I was doing it, but maybe one of those things.
Um,
I'm
well, I
swimming in the
mean,
middle of the ocean, I guess.
Coaster Bob 62 and I had guns pointed to our heads last year. Does that count?
Oh my god! Wait, what?
By police, yeah. We witnessed a crime, and the police came and didn't
Oh
know who was
wow.
bad and who was good, and they had guns up to us, and that was kind of scary. But
Yeah, that would be scary.
yeah, I saw. Where did I just see this? Oh, does Euromir have the world's best lift hill? I'm gonna say yes. Everybody hates that, but I love it because it takes like 5 minutes to get to the top, and you're listening to like weird techno music while you're
That sounds
spinning.
pretty good.
It's the most bizarre thing ever, but it's so unique. I love unique rides. I will take a unique ride over any super popular clone or anything like that any day. I just love unique experiences on coasters, and that definitely fits that. I bought the soundtrack because of that.
Oh, nice. It's cool
Yeah.
you have that.
Perfect replacement for Wicked Twister. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I don't. If they were to put something in, I just don't see them putting in another shuttle type coaster. It would have to be something a little bit bigger. But then again, they've been really opening that area with their boardwalks and stuff, and putting in really cool kind of places to watch the beach and stuff. So maybe that's what they're going to do. I mean, let's face it, Wicked Twister was put in there because they wanted to one up Six Flags Ohio. They had something original at their park, and so they put it there. And then Cedar Point doesn't really, they're not known for taking out record-breaking rides, and that thing had the record until very recently. So they can't really market it then. Not that
Yep.
they still did. But the Kiddie Coaster at Little America has the world's best lift hill. I know what the Kiddie Coaster is, but I guess I don't understand the lift hill.
Huh,
That I don't know, Imperial Coaster. I don't know too much about that area out there.
I know they have a toboggan, and that's said to be horrible, but
Yeah, well,
um,
toboggans are toboggans.
yeah.
I haven't ridden one in well over 20 years. Those are like among my first type of ride I ever got on. I rode them before I even counted coasters.
Wow.
The graveyard. Oh, yes, the graveyard. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. That's true.
Wait, the graveyard for what?
There's an actual cemetery that's right next to the Kiddie Coaster.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Weird
at Little
placement.
America. It's really strange.
Yeah.
Why do I think there's no enthusiast review of Parc Espagnol on YouTube? That I don't know. I mean,
Hardly
I don't do
anyone's
reviews,
been.
but I've covered footage in some of my videos. It's a very so when I was in Japan in 2019, that's one of the parks that the guys really wanted to go to, but weather was preventing us going. So Jeremy and Yannick, I think they went there, and they were really looking forward to the really cool flume ride there, the boat ride, but they've chopped half the boat ride out, so all the indoor portions
Ooh.
are gone. So now the boat ride just goes outside in a circle and comes back or something, defeating the whole purpose of what made that ride special. So they were kind of bummed about that, but I'm glad I didn't go back if that wasn't running. So, and I
Dang.
marathoned the hell out of Pyrenees. I got bloody shoulders from it and everything that day
Wow.
back in '05. What do you think of Alan Herschel Wild Mouse? They're crazy. They're crazy rides. Those Herschel
I
Wild.
want to do one of those so bad.
They're pretty crazy. So
Alrighty. I think we're gonna move on to the quiz, if that's alright with you.
yeah.
And then the one last question came in if you want to answer.
Oh, how did my it? Well, okay. I mean, not to be too disgusting here, but I only had that fifth 13. What is it? 13 million Schofield peanut. I only had that in my stomach for maybe 30 seconds before all of that came out, and I made it to my kitchen sink, and then I ran into the bathroom, and so my mouth and my throat burned for a couple hours afterwards. But because I spit it up, I didn't have to do the second burn. Now, Kyle Kruthofer, he just went right for the 13 million one, and he was in hell for a long while after that. I still have the pack of them with me. I took them to Florida. Nobody wanted to try it. So if anybody's in the Columbus, Ohio area anytime soon and wants to pick up the world's hottest peanuts to try one challenge for yourself, they're yours, because I'm not doing it ever again.
That's fair. I could never do that.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. Alrighty. So anyone who hasn't gone on the quiz, you can still get on even after we've started. I'll give like an extra 30 seconds. I also just saw someone mention that the Zamperla Disco at the unfortunately named Magic Cass Amusement Park in I think Israel just opened. That I reported on that a few weeks ago. I don't know what they were thinking with the name. It's not even like a mistranslation. I don't know what they were thinking with that park name, but it's unique, that's for sure. Yeah. Let's see. So I'm gonna start the quiz. Anyone who wants to get on can. How do you do the quiz? I have a link pinned to the website, and then I have the code, so that should get you there. Hope that helps. Oh, you have a Charlie Brown tree?
It's just a stem with a single ball my mom got me. Because
Yeah,
to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of like Christmas stuff, and
that's
I don't know
fair.
why. I never, ever since I was a kid, I don't hang up any direct decorations or anything. So my mom bought me a Charlie Brown Christmas tree that I can just put in the window and be done with it. I'm like one of the few on the entire street that's not decked out in lights and stuff like that. It's just never been my kind of thing, I guess. So, but I appreciate all the kind of feeling and everything around it. It's just I've never when I was a kid, I was really big into decorating that stuff, but I just got out of it, I guess.
That's
But
fair.
yeah, you can buy them like at Walmart and stuff.
Yeah,
They're really,
no,
really.
we used to have one. I think I'd like to say that like someone in our family actually made it and then yeah, we had it for a few years, so that's cool. But with that being said, I'm gonna start the quiz. 10 questions. I created this quiz a while back, so I think the questions are even gonna surprise me a little bit, but I mean I'm not playing, but like here
Sure.
we go. Three, two, one. Which coaster is faster? Dominator at King's Dominion or Powder Keg at Silver Dollar City? Weird sort of comparison, but there you go. That's the first question. This might be the most difficult question on here now that I think
That's
about
a
it.
crazy. I mean,
Correct
wow.
answer is actually Dominator. It is 65 miles per hour compared to Powder Keg's 64. So, yeah, that one was pretty difficult. Next question. What park was Blue Hawk at Six Flags Over Georgia originally located at? What was its original park? The correct answer here is Hunts Pier and whatever other names it went by. That was where it operated first. It actually was called Kamikaze when it first opened. So if you didn't know, there you go. Next question. What year did Wicker Man at Alton Towers first opened? I've heard good things about Blue Hawk. Good to hear, Stamford Bridge.
I actually like Blue Hawk.
That's cool.
I liked it when it was Ninja too. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Wow, everyone got that right. Wickerman opened on March 20th of 2018. Should have said this before, but please don't use RCDB for this. But I figure everyone would know. Next question. What year did Space Mountain at Disneyland reopen following a 2-year major refurbishment? It actually was closed for 2 years and they replaced basically the whole track and gave it a new soundtrack. Correct answer is 2005. Reopened on July 15th after being closed since 2003. Next question. How many inversions does Airy Force 1 have? I think I
Oh,
accidentally said it earlier in the stream, so this one could be a freebie. Correct answer is 4 inversions. Oh shoot, no one got it. Wow. Alrighty. I mean, no, there wasn't a POV of it, so I mean, I guess it is pretty tricky, but there you go. And then which of these is not an element name on Airy Force 1? Because I mentioned earlier they had a lot of weird names for elements. Which one of these is actually not a name of an element on Airy Force 1? Correct answer is aerial roll, which actually a good amount of you got right. That is not a name of an element on the ride. Yes, Big Drop is a name of an element on the ride, and it's not even the first drop, which is very strange. What is the name of this coaster, the one in the picture? Hopefully it's a little bigger for you guys, because I don't know why it's tiny on here. Hopefully, because otherwise that would make things very difficult. But correct answer here is Cyclone at Wonderland in Texas. The picture was, I don't know why it came out that small. That's not good. What was Din Corporation's first original coaster? First one they ever manufactured. And no, it's not the one in the picture. Although, that's not even an option, so. And the correct answer here is actually Wolverine Wildcat. Opened on May 14th of 1988, 14 days before Raging Wolf Bob's. Actually, there is some contradictions in terms of the actual date it opened, but it opened before Raging Wolf Bob's regardless. Which coaster opened first? Superman Escape from Krypton or Tower of Terror 2? I just realized the picture I did looks super weird. It looks like it's two spikes
It does.
of the same coaster. That was, I don't think I intended to do that, but that's kind of cool. Tower of Terror 2 was indeed the first one, even though it was not meant to be. And the last question is, what park is Heaven's Wing located at? This is a B&M wing coaster that opened a few years ago at a park in China. All these parks are in China, so that's not really a giveaway. Or actually, yes, they all are. And the correct answer here is HB World. Wow, a lot of you got that right. So that is the correct answer. That was a 10-question quiz we had. And let's see how the Coaster Roaster got first with a score of 48. Lil Phantom, best coaster in the world, got second with 44 points. Actually, it was a tie for second, and Mr. Cola Roaster got third with 44. So I guess congratulations to everyone who participated. And that was the quiz. So there you go. If you don't know some things, now you do. So yeah.
I got lazy.
You're all right. You're good. But let's see. What's the next thing on the schedule? YouTube shoutouts. Yes. So that is the next thing we're gonna go into. And so this is where I shout out channels that have either reached or are very close to a milestone. Since the last stream I did, which the last one was the IAAPA predictions, that was the last one I did. YouTube shoutouts, self-plug, but people always mention me here, and I did finally reach it. So thank you all for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. That happened
congrats.
very recently. I do have some things I have planned. I did hit 2,000 subs, as I think I mentioned at some point, at kind of the worst time because I had a lot of stuff already happening. But one of the things I plan to do is a new Coaster Hour interview series. I think I mentioned it in the past, hoping to interview people within the amusement industry. So that's one of those things. And there will be some other stuff I announce within the next few weeks, but I am going to be a little busy for the next month, so stuff might not come out for a little bit. But thank you all for getting me here.
You deserve it, man.
Yeah, thank you. But now we'll go to the next channel. Zero Credits Remaining has reached 2,000 subscribers. They've done some, they have a mixture of content, but I mostly like kind of their like historical, like I guess kind of coaster reviews, and also like when they explain the coasters, like he's done video, he did a really good video on Hades 360 I enjoyed. He also has an entertaining coaster on the Scooby-Doo coaster over in Australia. So he's got a lot of great content, and another channel that reached 2,000 subs. So make sure to check him out. If you haven't, all links are in the description. And then we also have Canopy Coaster, who reached 9,000 subs very recently. I enjoyed watching his review of Energylandia. Just saw it yesterday. Super weird park, but also super cool. He has, in my opinion, what are the best coaster reviews and park reviews of any channel out there. At least my favorite, I think I'll just say. I really enjoy his content. And another previous guest. Next we have Amusement Labs, and Sean, if you could take it away from here.
Yeah, so Amusement Labs is celebrating 75,000 subs, which is awesome. I love his work. I don't get to watch every single one right when they come out, but I do watch them eventually. And he just does a great job of educating people on how things work, and just does it in a way that's really laid back, really chill, and you learn a lot of stuff. So please check him out.
Yeah, for sure. He does videos focusing on how, more specifically, how like Disney and Universal rides work is most of his video topics. He goes into some other things, but a great channel for sure. Make sure to check him out if you haven't already. Next, we have Coaster Dash, another previous guest on the stream. He has reached 9,000 subscribers. Does a lot of countdowns and varied coaster content. Like, I think he also has non-copyright POVs and things of that sort. So I do enjoy his countdowns. I don't watch that many countdowns, but if I am gonna watch them, it's usually his. So that's great, and he just has a great channel, and he's been a previous guest, and he's a great guy, so make sure to check him out if you haven't already. And we also have National Coasters. He does videos on more like obscure coasters. He's done videos on like rides like Twist Coaster Robin and many other various like kind of under the radar coasters, I suppose. And he's able to pump out content quite a bit, so make sure to check him out if you haven't already. Just reach 9,000 subs, and I'll let you take this one away as well.
Coaster Bob 62, dear friend of mine, local here in Columbus. I've known him for years and years and years. Congratulations on 25,000 subs, Bob. Well deserved. He does incredible content, mainly Kings Island and Cedar Point, because he doesn't travel like a lot of us do to a lot of parks. But I can't say enough good stuff about what he records and how he edits. And he's just a really, really good dude, and was just over here at my place a couple weeks ago. And I'm sure we'll hang out again here soon in the future. Good dude.
For sure. He has some of the highest quality footage, I would say, of Kings Island and Cedar Point. So make sure to check him out if you haven't already. Getting close to 25,000 subs. But our next channel is near 2,000 subs. Yeah. Theme Park ERT. They've been mostly doing construction updates as of late on specifically the new Wonder Woman coaster. They've been getting them out. So if you want to follow that project, this is one of the best channels to check out. So well deserved of getting almost to 2,000 subs. Doing all those construction updates is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to like check back like on a weekly to almost daily basis. So make sure to check them out. And that'll do it for our YouTube shoutouts. Congratulations to everyone who has reached or is close to a milestone. So, and if you haven't yet, make sure to check out the channels. As I said, all of them, I have the links in a description. So there we go. And then we'll move on to our second Q&A session. And actually, I need to remove the quiz code because we're done with that. But there you go. Alrighty.
All right. Oh, the questions here for me, topics to discuss?
Oh, no. This is just the second Q&A session. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm confused. I just saw. Okay, I saw it there. Okay.
Yeah. No. Actually, I can kind of see. I can see how that happened. No, but you're good. Okay. I agree. It's insane how Canopy Coaster. His videos are like really. I love his reviews, and it's crazy how he's able to get all his videos out. I'm just like, how in the world do you create this stuff like so quick and it's so good? So.
A lot of editing in airplanes. It's usually how it's done.
Yeah, that actually probably is. But yeah.
I just remember like right before we boarded our plane in 2019 to Tokyo from LA, everything's packed away, and I look over and Taylor Bybee, he's sitting next to me with his laptop, just editing before he gets on the plane, and I'm like, dude, like. We're getting ready. You're going to edit, you're going to sleep on the plane or whatever. And he was editing all the way up until that time. So yeah, I've been in that position before, but mainly for work, and it can always wait. I try not to get myself in any holes where I'm like, I have to get this out right now. And the only way I can do is editing on a plane. No, I don't do that anymore. I try not to.
Yeah.
So it's rather stressful. Holidays. Holiday in the park doing. I haven't done any of the holidays in the parks. I may be getting a new camera, and if I do, I'm going to test that out at Winterfest at Kings Island. But if I don't get the camera, most likely I won't go down to Winterfest. So it depends on that. But yeah, no complaints. So it's a little chilly here in Ohio right now, and considering I just came back from Florida, my body's still kind of getting used to that. Worst wild mouse I've ridden? Oh boy.
Oh, Coast Rider for me, easy.
That could very well be it for me as well. How was your experience on Tomb Raider the ride? Oh, I see. I liked Tomb Raider the ride. Mainly, I mean, the ride itself wasn't the most intense thing, but I was more impressed with just how large everything was on that ride. Like when you would walk into the dark room and look up and see the arms holding that thing together, because it was the only giant topspin ever created. And then when Cedar Fair took over, they wanted it to do more flips, and they lost the licensing and stuff. So the only way that could have happened is they took a row out and made it flip more. But then it just wasn't the same. But I always loved checking out Tomb Raider when it was, even when it was being built to the time they were getting ready to close it. It was just like, wow, I'm glad there's something like this here, so people like geeks like me can just geek out on it and watch how something like that isn't meant to throw humans around, but it did.
It looks super, super interesting. So it's cool you got to do it.
Rapids. Do you think the Rapids ride will be gone in the future? If you mean Kings Islands, no, I don't think that'll be gone anytime soon. I could be wrong, but I don't know too much about it. On a plane, yeah. I usually just use planes for sleeping, if I'm being honest.
I have a hard time sleeping on them, but
it's not quality sleep, but if I'm on a long international flight, I might get a few hours in, but you don't feel as rested. Ride back for Universal Studios, what would it be? Oh, well, Dueling Dragons, I'm just going to say. When it was dueling, it was a very, very special ride.
I don't have one based off what I've ridden, so.
No, you're still fairly new at it too. I say you're new at it, but
8 years. So.
Scrambler, I love riding Scramblers. I haven't ridden one in a long, long time. There's a version of the Scrambler called the Sizzler, I think it is, where you sit sideways. Instead, you face in the middle spoke and it spins around a lot faster. Those are, if you can find one, they're really intense. So.
Oh wow.
Wild Chipmunk is a very, very crazy wild mouse. I agree. Oh, well, I haven't been to that one, Lee. But Wild Chipmunk is, yes, I agree. Videos you posted, what's your favorite? Oh my gosh, are the retro videos I've done? Oh my gosh. I don't really have I know this is a cop out answer. I don't have a favorite video. They're all kind of I feel like in a weird way, like my kids, and I don't want to say which one's better or the other. The ones that stand out the most are the Son of Beast announcement ones. Those are the ones that get asked about the most. A lot of the stuff that isn't around anymore, like Hypersonic and Steel Phantom, maybe some of that stuff, because when you're recording that stuff, you don't think it's going to be shown 20, 30 years down the road, and people will be like, oh, I'm so glad you had that. You don't think that way. At least I don't when I record.
Yeah.
And then when people dig that stuff and they can relate to it and make their own story out of your footage, that's where it gets exciting for me. So, ever missed the SNS Sky Sling? What was the SNS Sky Sling?
Let's see, SNS.
If that's the thing that was absolutely insane, I loved it. Earthquake, the big one at Universal. Oh, I remember Earthquake. Yeah. What's your thoughts on? I like the purple. Two of my favorite colors to go are black and green. So I like the original, but I think the purple really make it look sharp.
I think the SNS Sky Sling is. I think they meant to say the ride that was mentioned earlier, like Vertigo.
Oh, like Vertigo. Okay, those were great. They were terrifying. You talk about feeling open on the ride. So your only attachment to the seat, and it was just a saddle basically, was these two straps with pins that rock down in front and behind you, I think.
Oh my God.
Still had a lot of movement. So when that thing would go up and throw you on your stomach, depending on what program you asked for, it would throw you on your stomach or throw you on your back and then back on your stomach. But you were all very loose feeling, yeah, it was intense. What's the best manufacturer both of you have ridden so far and would stand in a long line for? Well, for me, it's B&M. You get what you pay for. I love their engineering. Half of why I love roller coasters is because of engineering and what goes into it. and B&M does a really good job with their engineering. And they might not be the most forceful ride in the world, but they don't have to be. If you pay the extra bucks to get a B&M coaster, you know what you're going to get. So Frontier City, I have been there. Yep, only once. I need to go back. And ironically, they had one of those Vertigo rides there, and you didn't have to pay extra for it.
Actually, what was it? Do any of those rides still exist, or are they all gone?
If they're after Cedar Point had an incident with theirs in the off season, they lowered all of them. They never got to go up as high as they cut the tops of them, so they weren't able to go very high. But after that, I don't know. No, I'm not an engineer. That's the scary thing about it. Rotel is how you say it. I'm not. I just have an engineering mind. I've always been the type of kid that would rather build stuff and try to figure out how things work than to actually just watch them work. And my father was an engineer and at a TV station, so he brought back a lot of equipment. As a matter of fact, the very first video camera I ever owned was when I was 12 years old, maybe 11, and it was a black and white security camera that my father fixed up for me, and he gave me a 3/4 inch VCR tape. It wasn't even a VHS. The tape was huge, and that's how I began to edit. I learned how to edit on tape, just figuring it out on my own and recording on my own, and so from age 11 to currently, I have most of my life documented, and it's really strange to look back at all that old stuff. And everybody back then would always say, why are you recording so much stuff? And those same people, a lot of them are saying, I'm so glad you recorded that stuff back then, so I guess it's just what I do.
What was it? Jay asked, what was it? I guess he wanted, what was it? He asked for both of us?
Yeah, yours too.
So for me, just based off what I've written 5 RMCs, so that's gonna be what it is. They're all in my top 11, I think. Intamin is up there as well, but I've ridden some of their bad rides too, so that's the only hiccup thing I have with them. And B&M, they're pretty good across the board, but I just haven't ridden outside of Tatsu. I don't think I've ridden any elite B&M coasters or ones that I'm whoa, that's incredible. They make very good rides, but nothing that at least that I've ridden so far. Yeah,
they won't knock your socks. I mean, early on they did. When Raptor was open, I mean, that was just insanity.
That is one of my favorites. Yeah,
I love that one. That's the first B&M I ever rode. But yeah, I RMC is my favorite to ride. But I would be cautious if I was a park to buy one of them, because I know they're still kind of working out some stuff, and give them a couple more years and then they'll be untouchable for sure. I mean, they already are, but as far as reliability and stuff. Let's see. Best ride attraction you've had insider knowledge for before anyone else? Oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. Maybe Millennium Force. Or
that's a good one.
Shoot. Top Thrill Dragster, perhaps, as well. One of those two.
Those are two good ones.
Yeah, I found out about Dragster in early 2022. 2022. Wow. 2003. Why I was at Nasabari Farm. The general manager of the park told me about it, and I know I wasn't supposed to hear it, but I heard it. And then Millennium Force, I had known it was a giga coaster and over 300 feet, but I didn't know the layout for a while. And someone told me that was working on the project, go to Darien Lake and ride Superman. Just go and ride it. So as soon as that ride opened, I went there and rode it. And as I was standing in line, there were people working on the Millennium Force project in line as well. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And they're like, what are you doing here? So then I put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, okay, that's what they're getting at Cedar Point, but a big version. That's what it was. So
wow.
B&M, yeah, I love the B&M Hyperclaim show. I don't play Planet Coaster, never have. I played No Limits 2 every once in a while. Frontier City has their own song. Didn't know that. Favorite dark ride for me is probably Forbidden Journey, or Spider-Man. One of those two.
Indy's mine. Indiana Jones. So
Best wooden coaster, probably Voyage for me.
Ghost Rider for me,
That's a good
easily.
one.
Yeah.
I have not been on the Wildfire in Sweden. No, I need to.
Yeah, no, not me.
So.
And I can't say anything about the B&M clamshells because I haven't ridden a coaster with
No, they're,
the.
they're very comfortable. I mean,
Yeah, I've
I
heard
rode the
incredible
hell out of
things.
Mako recently, and those you can just sit back and just let them do their thing. They're like they don't hurt you or anything. It's really, you know, they're not thigh rush restraints. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone said Intamin's Bad Rides, Green Lantern at Magic Mountain. That's one of them. There was also a family coaster I rode, Woodstock Express at Great America. I know it's a family coaster, but in 5th grade when I was barely 54 inches or whatever, just a little bit over, it was still cramped, so I did not like that one either. But yeah, Green Lantern's definitely the big one there.
It's a terrible ride. I won't ride. There's like 5 coasters in the world I will never ride the coaster again, and that's certainly one of them. Oh wow, entire that sucks. American Wildfire? You mean the one that's at in Branson? That's a fun B&M.
Yeah, Silver Dollar City.
And it's the only B&M that has those type of trains on it, meaning sit down trains, but you're lifted off the floor like a floorless. All the other ones like that, your feet are on the floor. What was the worst restraint you've ever witnessed on any coaster? I'll just say it again, Sky Rush. Thoughts on the vest restraints, on the hard restraints from a B&M, which, you know what? I've never once had an issue with vest restraints, ever. I know a lot of people don't because they say they retract on them. I don't know if it's just my body size or something. I have never once had an issue. Now, I know gatekeepers were a little tight opening year, but they fixed that problem, and I've never once had an issue with it. I'd much rather prefer the vest restraints than the hard ones on a lot of those coasters. Like I rode Kraken a couple weeks ago, and I got thrashed on that ride. I couldn't believe how bad it was. So, yeah, the battle, the Banshee's rattle. I mean, that thing's been on there from day one. Same with the one on Diamondback. I think it's just even though they make that track 15 minutes or half an hour from where they Banshee's located at, there's the rattle. A lot of it has to do with those new trains too.
Actually, what was it? Going back to the vest restraints, I didn't find them to be an issue on Gatekeeper. I've only ridden 2 coasters with this. But Valraven, I only got 1 ride on it. I don't know what it was, but I mean, I did get stapled bad, but like, that was not fun for me. And what was it? Worst restraints? Coast Rider also. That's the one I would say.
That too, yeah. Well, see, I haven't ridden it with that since they added the shin bar. I only read it before that, and I didn't like it.
Don't ride it now. It's awful.
Really? Is it that bad?
Yeah, it's my least favorite coaster by far, and it's because of the shin guards. It already was bad before because it was a super trimmed wild mouse, but it's so much worse now.
Stanford, yes, I agree with Lake Winnie. It wasn't rough when I rode it, but it was a lot of fun. I need to get back down there as well. I just drove through Chattanooga day and a half, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe. Orion's got a vibration sometimes it doesn't. I don't understand that ride because last year I know it was like half seats that were filled, and I enjoyed it. But now this year, like I gray out on the ride, and it's so much better than it was last year, and it seems a lot smoother too. It's what a strange ride. Bucket list for theme parks, anything in China. And I need to get back to Europe. That could very well happen next year, possibly. Hint, hint. Complete agree on Ghost Rider.
What was it? I'll just go with top 3. I think Tokyo Disney Sea is my 1. It just looks incredible, even though and I have grown an appreciation for theme parks, so Tokyo Disney Sea is number 1 for me. Number 2, I'm gonna go with
for number 1.
I think I am gonna go with Fantasia Land for number 2. It's up there for sure.
One to be 2.
And then probably Europa would be 3. I think Energylandia is up there too, but yeah, that'd be the top 3 there.
Let's see. Yeah, Disney. So Disney Sea is my favorite park in the world, and I'm not even a big Disney fan.
Well, it's so
Uh,
different though, so yeah.
yeah, I think that's why. Sorry, I was responding to the question. I'm
You're
not
good.
doing. I didn't know I was doing possibly a trip with Airtime Thrills, but no, that wasn't it. So,
Oh yeah, because he's supposedly doing one next year, so he probably put two and two together. So,
what's the strangest amusement park
oh,
park
have
have
been to, I
ridden?
think. Been to. I think strangest park you've been
Well,
to.
I'm gonna cheat here. It's not really an amusement park.
I think I know the
I
one you're
have a
going with.
coaster that I've ridden. You know where I'm going.
I think so.
Hanajuchi here in Columbus.
Yep. Yep. That
It,
was my guess.
I rode Blue Flash there. It's at their amusement park. It's not open to the public. We went there to shoot video, and the guy just opened it up for us. And I took one ride on it, and in very recently, I heard there was a group of enthusiasts that went to go ride it, and the ride broke, and half of them didn't get to ride it or something.
Oh.
So, oh no, have I taken Mike Straley on a coaster? Yeah, actually, when we were out on tour in California, Mike's my coworker. He's the Marine that I actually travel with. He's in a lot of the vlogs. He likes coasters, but he hates height. Like he just can't stand to be up high. And I took him to Magic Mountain. I had some friends that had some tickets because it was like buy one get one free or something. So we went there and got him on stuff like Ninja and stuff and Tatsu, and then got him on the single rider line of their big drop tower. Doctor Doom. It's not Doctor Doom. It's
Uh,
what is their drop?
Magic Mountains, right?
Yeah. It's
Lex Luthor. It's Lex Luthor Drop of
Lex
Doom.
Luthor. Drop
Yep,
of
there
Doom.
you go.
God, I'm so bad with names now.
It's
And
good.
he wrote it, and I have in the very first massive vlog I ever did. Maybe it's number 2. It's one of the first 2. I ran outside with my camera to record him on his ride, and he looked like a mannequin. I mean, I can't believe he did it. But he wants to ride some more. I mean, I told him all about Velocicoaster. He would love that. But he has a busted knee right now. As a matter of fact, in like 5 days, he has to have surgery to repair his broken knee. So when I was down in Florida, there was no chance of me even trying to bring him to a park. I mean, he was still in Ohio at that time, but since I drove down, it was easier for him to fly because of his knee. And I mean, we could have got him up the exit. His knee's bad, but perhaps a knee injury like that's not the best for riding coasters. So
Yeah.
Disney adding extreme coaster? No, I could not see that.
I will say this: they have worked with mock rides recently. They have worked with Vekoma. I wouldn't be shocked if they went with like at some point if they went with like kind of like a Blue Fire style mock launch coaster, which probably would be about as extreme they would go, or maybe a Vekoma similar like. They'd have to probably make it quite a bit longer and up the capacity, but something like Formula at Energylandia, I think they could do something like that. But that's like the highest end I could ever see them go.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, I know it's funny because when Rock and Roller opened up, it's got a brisk launch. You know, it's not record breaking, I don't think, or anything like that. But a lot of the die-hard Disney fans that I knew at the time, that just, I mean, and this is their thing. They don't see a world going to any amusement park because everything they want at amusement parks is at a Disney park, which is fine and dandy. But when you go to ride something like Top Thrill Dragster, and then you ride Rock and Roller, the launch seems considerably tamer just because it's a family launch coaster. But don't tell that to the diehards. They will argue with you day in, day in that the launch on that's just as extreme as all the other ones. So it's all a matter of perspective, I think. And that's what makes this hobby interesting, I guess, you know?
Hey, and the mock launches aren't forceful, so there you go.
No. I think Zamperla, exactly. It will succeed in the future. Like, well, I mean, Zamperla's been around. I think they've been around the longest as far as ride manufacturers. I could be wrong.
They've been around
up
forever.
And down history.
Actually,
as long as they don't make any more Valeries, I'm good.
Did you see? Maybe he didn't see my comment earlier. I commented on Coaster Studios' video One of the things I literally mentioned was I think that Zamperla is going kind of through like a renaissance, kind of like how Vekoma did a few years ago. So I think they could have something like that.
Jay, that is by far my favorite Six Flags park in the chain, Fiesta Texas. It doesn't feel like any of the other ones. It's just a special place. I mean, I'm kind of partial because Jeff runs that park, Jeff Siebert, and he's been a long friend for many decades. And you can see his touch when you walk into that park. And he's the park president. If he were to ever become CEO, you would see a lot of that kind of what he's done to that park spread out over the chain. Obviously, budgets have to play into that, but he gets it. He gets what makes it special. And if you've gone to all the other Six Flags parks and you go to Fiesta Texas, you know something's different there. So he's doing something right.
I'm curious how that's going to feel having been to Six Flags Mexico, because supposedly the most comparable thing, at least with like the nice areas of Six Flags Mexico, is Fiesta Texas. So that's interesting.
Oh, cool.
But
yeah, I haven't been to that park.
Yeah.
The Mexico one.
It's weird. I've been there, but not Fiesta Texas. I'm not even that far, but yep, there you go. Let's see. What else?
I don't know where we're at on the thing. Oh.
If you had any other questions that you wanted to get
to.
Yeah. You're good?
I'm good if you're good.
I think there was... I do kind of like this one, although for you it might be difficult to pick one. Most elusive credit to get.
Oh, well, I typed it in there, but Ghost Town the Skies coaster.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever I know they've changed the name a couple times, but that park has already eluded me, and I know it's not the most amazing thing, and it's a wonky, O.D. Hopkins, but I've always wanted to ride that, mainly because it drops out of the station and goes into a vertical loop.
Yeah,
and I had a friend that almost bought the park a few years ago, and it didn't happen. So
dang.
That would have been my one time.
Interesting. For me, for me, my most elusive, they're not that impressive. I mean, the one sort of impressive thing I have is I've ridden Pandemonium, which used to be at Discovery Kingdom, both at Discovery Kingdom and at Six Flags Mexico as Joker, which, considering my age, that does surprise some people when I mention that, sure. Because, I mean, I wasn't even a coaster enthusiast when I rode Pandemonium. But, like, my true most elusive credit is probably, like, Minor Mike at Adventure Dome or something like that.
Oh, hey.
Which no longer exists, and I think had, like, a pretty strict height requirement, so, yeah. That's, like, it. So, it's not that good. Tsunami at Six Flags Mexico could be up there, too. There's your Tivoli. Oh, actually, and this is the last... I think this is the last thing. I mentioned it in the last stream, but for those who don't know, Six Flags does have a new CEO. Michael Spanos left. It was just reported last week. They have a new CEO. His name is Salim Basul. I may have butchered that, but he is taken over, and he used to be a CEO of a company called Middleby Corporation, which I've never heard of. But for those who didn't know, that also happened.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was surprised he left. Because he hadn't been there for that long, so hopefully that's not a bad thing, but we'll see what happens.
Mark my words, Jeff Siebert will be the CEO of Six Flags at one point. He just when somebody has a solid amount of time, just research Jeff's history in the amusement industry. I mean, it's unbelievable how far and what he's done, and it's only it'll happen sometime, I'm sure. So.
I hope so. That'd be great. I mean, I don't know him, but I just know that I've heard amazing things from a lot of different people, so that'd be great for sure.
Real quick, most painful wooden coaster.
Oh,
I'm just gonna say Son of Beast, but that's no longer around, so I don't know.
Out of the ones I've ridden, Colossus in its final year of operation was pretty brutal. and backwards to go along with that. That was pretty brutal. But to my standards, I haven't ridden that many wooden coasters. I think Wildcat would actually have to be it at Hershey Park, and that's not. I mean, it's not good, but it's not that horrible either compared to
It
other
used to be a
things.
lot better.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think now with that being said, if you're ready to, we'll move on to the topics to discuss, which we
Okay.
have 4 of them. And actually, one of the things you said earlier will make that last one interesting, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
First one is more a question for you. If you, I mean, I don't know that you have a specific one, but do you have a memorable ride opening or an interesting ride opening that you've attended,
Um,
just compared to like maybe the rest?
well, so I mean, this one wasn't necessarily a fun thing, but it was unique because it's the only time I've gotten to do this, I think, at least in recent times. I went to so Six Flags Great America opened up Superman, their flying coaster, in 2003. I went to the media day for that, and then I went back to the media day the following year for their Mardi Gras area, and they had a spinning Zamperla mouse coaster there. That's the one that I think it's at.
Raging Cajun, yeah.
Yeah, it's at Six Flags America, I think now, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, or somewhere
Yes,
in
it
there.
is. Yeah.
So they were trying their best to get everything ready, but everything wasn't ready. So the coaster itself was not certified by the state of Illinois to operate for Media Day.
Oh boy.
So they allowed us all one ride on it, and it wasn't certified by the state. And so they felt so bad because there was, so many people there that they opened up Superman for the remainder of their Media Day. So their Media Day was actually for a ride that they had ended up being about a ride they opened up the year prior. It was really strange, but we rode the heck out of Superman that day. So that was pretty strange. But then the ones I remember the most are like the Millennium Force ones and the Dragster ones, stuff that I have some footage of elsewhere on my channel. Those were fun times. So
Nice. That is pretty strange, the Grid America thing. Yeah, that that is super weird.
they were honest with us. They were like, "Sorry, we can only allow you to ride one time and only one car at a time." So we waited a while for it, but we got the credit.
There you go.
Yep.
And now if you've ridden that at both, I mean that's like pretty cool, I guess, because I don't know how
Yeah,
long it was at Great America.
it wasn't there very long. They had a fatal accident on it right after it opened, and then I think
Oh,
after that
shoot.
they had a worker get hit by one of the cars. So
Yeah, that's not good.
was that when the local news totally butchered a spelling your name? Probably. The news always misspells my name all the time. So
I mean that stuff happens, I guess. I would be terrified of how my name would be said, both first and
how,
last. I think.
how is your last name?
Gilgan, but it gets people say Jiljan and all this
Oh,
crazy stuff.
yeah.
And then I've heard my first name get mispronounced, like because I did cross country, so there's like announcers saying when they're naming off like the rankings or the top 10 who did the race or whatever. I've heard so many different things like Karik. I don't even know. So it's wild.
I get Scene a lot for my first name. Scene. Is there a scene around here? So
How does that happen?
I don't know. I'm named after Sean Connery, one of the like big movie stars. So I don't know
Oh,
how that's messed up, but oh well.
that's cool. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
But I guess now we'll move on to the second topic. This was not the first time you rode a helicopter, but you did ride a helicopter this year, which I have not done, and probably not a lot of people in here have done. So how was that experience?
It's good. I mean, I rode at Kings Island when they used to have helicopter rides going over Center Beast over Center Beast. I used to take advantage of that all the time, and then they didn't do it very long. I did a life flight helicopter for work once. They took me up to get aerial of this escort we were flying over. That was fun. And then this year, we were at an event in Fort Jennings, Ohio, this tiny town in Northwest Ohio, and they have these group of Vietnam vets that restore Vietnam era Huey helicopters, and
Oh
they take you
wow.
up and they take you on a 10-minute ride. But I got gifted a ride, meaning that somebody from the staff said, no, we're going to, kind of do something special for you. So not only did I get my 10-minute ride, but they took me 15 minutes away to an airport to get refueled and then back. So I got an extended ride. But
Wow.
my father's a Vietnam vet, and I just lost a really, really good friend that was an Army veteran right when about a week or two before that, after that happened, or before it. And so on the way out, it was really emotional for me. I wasn't expecting that, and uh, it was important that I did my best to try to document that. For me, just to try to preserve that feeling I felt when I was on there. But if anybody gets a chance to ride in a Huey helicopter like that, or any type of helicopter, go for it. It can be scary, but it's such a really unique feeling when that helicopter takes off. It's not like what we're used to in a plane at all. It's a little bit more rough. Coaster Bob 62 and I, every year at the Ohio State Fair for years, we would both go up at the same time and shoot a POV of the Ohio State Fair from the helicopter. So I've ridden with him a few times too.
That's cool. But yeah, I mean, shoot, I that's something that I don't think I could refuse to do, and especially in your case, I was not aware that it was a I guess a refurbished helicopter, so it also has historical and for you sentimental value. So yeah,
Yep.
there you go. Just saw Hershey Addict in the chat. What's going on? Nice to see. Nice to see you return. He just uploaded his first video in a while. So,
Welcome back, Hershey Addict.
Yep, there you go. Also, former previous guest. So, there you go. But we'll move on to our next thing, and this is most anticipated 2022 rides. Now, I'm not asking you to rank them or anything, but just if you have any you want to talk about or that like you're interested in seeing or doing, then this is it.
Air Force One for sure. Well, heck, everything I've pretty much learned in your stream and all the new stuff. I'm serious. It's got me excited to want to go out to do the park stuff again. And coming from a summer where I didn't ride a single thing, I didn't visit any parks, and I didn't know if I'd ever get back to them. When I hear news like this and read stuff like this, and be like, okay, it's going to be okay. There's going to be some fresh stuff out there. It's going to be awesome. So definitely looking for stuff like that. Anything, even some of the dark ride stuff you mentioned, I'm looking forward to. We're going to be rebounding. You're going to see this huge incline with attractions being built over the next, I would say, 5 years. I don't know if it'll get as far as it did like in 2000s, the late 90s, that type of thing. It would be great if it would, but people, they're just sick of being inside, and they're slowly exploring the options of going back to the parks again on a bigger scale. And nothing made me happier than being at Islands of Adventure a few weeks ago and just seeing how busy it was and everybody's smiling again and just yelling and all that. And those moments can't be, they're too important to put a value on. So I'm just glad we're going to be seeing a lot of good stuff that hasn't even been announced yet.
Yeah, for sure. I think you bring up a good point there about it's just great to see that there is new stuff coming up like next year, especially because we had no idea what was going to happen when the pandemic started and all that. So to see even like some new things, and we're actually getting a decent bit considering the situation that we've kind of gone through, just as I guess a world. I don't even know how you describe it, but like literally. So it definitely is like really nice to see like parks adding in new things and that things are gonna be continuing. So that's definitely an underappreciated aspect of seeing these new rides for sure.
Well, there's things that are so under our radar. And I know one of instance, and I'm not gonna like spoil the beans because I don't know all the beans to spill, okay? But I know there's something being built right now that nobody hasn't even seen signs of being built, but it's being built. And when more of it is shown, it won't be for next year. I'll say that. But if it's what I'm pretty sure, I think it's what it is. It's going to be. It's already started. I think it's out of everybody's mind. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to the mystery project, I suppose. But
It's not really a mystery project. It's just something that I think that everybody thinks isn't happening, but it is happening. So I don't know that again for 100% fact. I just kind of put things what I'm told together and be like, oh, that's why that's there, and that's why that's happening right now. And then when you look back at a bigger picture, you can see like the whole puzzle. Like, oh, that's why that's happening now. And this. So lost size. Oh yeah, Vince, for sure. Sean, is this a wood coaster you're talking about? No. Nope.
alrighty,
But actually, well, Carrick and can I mention this real quick?
you can say whatever you
about the gravity?
want.
Okay. Well, so when I was on his stream, what did we say, March last year or something?
Yeah. Oh yes, I know
We
you're
kind of
talking about.
hinted around about some game changer thing. That's now it's been announced. That's the Gravity Group new track that was being hinted around. So
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about it. I just saw some stuff that I was allowed to study, but I wasn't allowed to take pictures of. And then very, 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 very recently, I got a call and they're like, now you can talk about that. That's what you saw. That thing that you saw is why we have this. And then I was like, again, it's like a puzzle. Oh, that's why that's there. And that's why that's there. And that's there. So there's going to be some big surprises when it comes to that technology here soon, real soon as well. So
For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, Gravity Group earlier this year showed their new track. They have a new process of like creating the track. Correct?
it's a cutting machine that they usually use for
Yes.
metal. They do it with wood. It's like what I saw was part of a machine.
It makes the wood that they're using like from this machine they've created is a lot stronger than what has been used previously. So it's gonna allow for some things to be done and probably like elements and things of that sort that have never been done before. So that's why it's a big deal for wooden coasters, because we're gonna see things that we've never seen wooden coasters do probably come out of this. So that's that. For my own most anticipated 2022 rides, I will do a ranking at some point, but not here. But I just wanted to mention some that are a little under the radar international rides. There's a new GCI coaster going to Dubai next year called Bombay Express. It's this crazy new huge scale GCI coaster that is being advertised as having the most airtime in the world. I don't think they actually are, because that's kind of ridiculous. But it does look pretty nuts. It has shorter cars and it does have steel support, so it is an interesting looking coaster. There's also an indoor coaster going to China next year called Turbo Turtle Power. It's supposed to have 8 inversions, an Intamin launch coaster, Blitz coaster, or I guess now they call them LSM coaster. I don't even know what they call them now, but they no longer call them Blitz coasters for some reason. But there's one going to an indoor park at Nickelodeon Universe in China. And then we have what's kind of like a polar coaster coming to Dubai as well, called Storm. They put an Intamin coaster inside of this like nearly 200-foot tall building, and it kind of goes down. It's like the closest thing we've seen to a polar coaster. If you've seen, the only pictures of it I think are on like Instagram and Facebook. The park showed some like videos of the inside and stuff, but that thing looks really wild. So those are kind of like under like the radar ones, but ones I wanted to mention here, and I'll talk a little bit more about those whenever I get to actually talking about the coasters of next year, which will be left for probably a stream more towards either the end of this year or next year. But yeah, there you go. And then we have our next. Actually, do you have any last things you want to say before we move on to the?
No, I think I'm good.
Alrighty. So then we have this, which, considering what you said earlier, I'm curious about how you're going to answer this. But do you have any favorite food or drink items you've ever had at a park specifically?
Okay. So the food at Knoebels, like the pizza, I love. That's my favorite park pizza. I'll say that. But
I've heard amazing
there
things
is
about it.
there is one item on any park's menu. I don't care how many there are. I haven't tried them all, obviously, but I cannot take myself away from butterbeer.
Oh yes.
I love that. I only got one cup when I was there a few weeks ago, and I love that so much. If I could have the magic recipe at home, I'd drink it all the time. But I love the butterbeer that's at the Universal Parks.
The saddest thing is, I thought it tasted kind of like butterscotch or something like that, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't really like the buttery stuff, so my brother got it and I rejected even trying it, and I will get to Universal at some point. It's not that far from me,
Okay.
Hollywood, but I did skip out on it, and everyone I've told, whether coaster enthusiast or just my friends, because they've also been, right? They tell me that was like a huge mistake, so I need to do that ASAP.
Well, they
Um,
have it in different. They have the frozen. Like everybody likes the
yeah.
frozen. I like the normal one. I haven't tried the warm one yet. But there's just something about it. I mean, even in Japan, it's the exact same recipe, and it's just you drink it and you're just like, oh man, And I know Disney's tried it with their drinks they have, their specialty drinks and stuff. And I've only tried one of those. Haven't tried any of the Star Wars ones, like blue milk and
Oh,
things.
those are weird. I've tried them.
See, I don't know. I don't have anything to go by since I know there's vegetarian options and stuff there, which uh, gets me excited because I'm a vegetarian. So I love when parks have that stuff. But man, you give me butter beer, give me 3 a day. I'm not going to leave your park. So
I will make sure to try that. It is a shame I didn't go and do that. Are there any other food items that you really like, or that you want to mention? I should say.
um, nothing I can think right off. I mean, food's a weird thing with me at parks. 'Cause I don't set out and say I have to get something except a butterbeer. Everything else, I just kind of get it as I go. There's nothing. I'm most likely drawing a blank now, and as soon as we get off the stream, I'm gonna be thinking about a bunch of stuff. Oh, I should have mentioned this. You know how that goes. So
Yeah, yeah, that happens. But for me, um, actually at Galaxy's Edge, at Disneyland for right now, this is the best thing. I know there's better things. I haven't been in a while, but I've kind of stuck with this. Not a vegetarian option, but I know they have a version of it, but they have these things called Ronto roasters. I really like those. It's like a hot dog thing, but it's in like this bread, and it's got like it's actually pretty unique. But that's pretty good. And then I don't know why I like this so much, but California Adventure, they got these things that they have num num cookies. They got it's themed to the Incredibles, the baby from Jack Jack. So they have Incredicoaster, and they have a tunnel that actually smells like the Num Num cookies, so which it smells delicious. And it's like, oh, I wanna try it. I tried it. I mean, they're pretty warm. I don't even know if they're that exceptional, but the warm cookie just tastes so good. It's just like a chocolate chip cookie, but it's super warm. Tastes amazing, so I'd recommend that. Although it is overpriced, but that's park food
yeah,
most of the time. So those are some of the things I could think of. So, and then the blue and green milk, I didn't really enjoy them that much, but they were interesting. I'll just say that. Worth a try, but I don't know if it's something I'm gonna get over and over again, if that makes sense, because they're very weird.
sure, sure. Wow.
But that's gonna do it, unless you thought of any things, any park foods.
No, I
Um,
mean I know there's so much out there, and like I said,
yeah.
Kings Island has been up in their food, and a lot of the Cedar Fair parks have.
Wait,
It's
nothing
just
from
I don't
Tokyo
eat.
Disney Sea made it that you can think of,
No,
or
because I didn't. Well, you know what? All I had at Tokyo Disney Sea, and it was with Dan from Midway Mayhem. It was we him and I spent most of that day together at that park, and we had twice. I think we had curry and rice in a
hmm.
Western themed restaurant, and we were like, well, this is kind of a strange thing, but we ate it and it was fantastic, and we liked it so much we went later in the day and got it again. I mean, that was good, but I mean, they have really strange, like different popcorns and stuff there. And we
Yeah, I've
tried
heard
some of
about
that,
that.
but we didn't try a lot of stuff. We ate back when we got to the hotel. We would order something and then pick it up and bring it back usually. We didn't eat very much at the parks,
That's
you
fair.
know.
Because the parks especially, like there's some parks around here in California that if I can, I'll eat outside of it because they don't have the best of food offerings. But so I get that. The gyoza dogs at Tokyo Disney Sea are one thing I really want to try. I've heard really good things about those. So if you've ever heard of that, um,
There's so much about this food stuff I need to take. I mean, Knoebels is just an easy, quick food thing, and it
yeah,
fills you up. And then what turns me off is a lot of food prices at parks. I mean, I
yep,
did eat at
exactly.
Islands of Adventure. I ate at Finnegan's. I think that's what it's called at Universal Studios, and it was decent food. And I don't think I ate anywhere near in Islands of Adventure, or I'm just not remembering, or we did, or so, I can't remember. Uh, just because I don't look at food as like a full meal when I'm at a park. I'll get a snack and be fine the rest of the day.
But yeah, so there you go. Those are some of our favorite food items. And the next thing we're going to do is a segment that I know it's new to you. And that is Guess the Coaster. And I am going to change it slightly from what I've done previously to try to do a guess. So basically how this works for anyone who hasn't participated in this, me and Sean will take turns doing this. I'll do it first just so you can see what exactly we're doing.
Okay.
But basically, I'm gonna have a coaster in my head I'm thinking of, or I'll just randomly get it on RCDB, which is how I'm gonna do it. But you can also do it just a coaster you're thinking of, and then those in the chat will try to guess what the coaster is, asking questions like with clues, yes or no, answer clues, to try to get closer to finding out what the coaster is. And whoever can get the coaster first in the chat, they've won the round. That probably wasn't the best way of describing it, but the viewers have done this before, so you'll kind of see how it goes.
Sure.
And like I said, I'm gonna have the coaster first. So
Okay.
let me just get it real quick. Got it. All right. So ask your questions away.
Real quick. Do you have to do how are you getting the coaster?
You can either think of the coaster in your head, or if you're the one who's the one that you're trying to guess from, or in my case, I'm doing it from RCDB and getting one that's relevant.
Okay, I have one, but you go ahead.
And actually, for the guest, I should say this: when we switch off, if you can type answers in the chat, that would be best. So that way, we're not saying it out loud because there's a bit of a stream delay. So, yeah.
Okay, I won't play. I want to watch everybody play.
Sure. All right.
That way, because I just.
That's good. All right. So let's see. First question. Oh, actually, it's a guess right off the bat. Is it Max's Doggy Dog coaster? No. Is it in North America? No. Not in Asia. It is in Europe. So far we have European coaster. It is a European steel coaster. So there we go. Steel coaster in Europe is what we have so far. Hope you're hopefully getting it a little bit. It is not a wooden coaster, so far we have European steel coaster, and it's from B&M, so we have European B&M coaster. I don't have to say steel because they didn't manufacture an actual wooden coaster, so European B&M coaster. It was made this century, and it does have inversions. So European B&M coaster made during this century, and it does indeed have inversions. It's not Nessie, it's not a wing coaster, it's not Black Mamba, it's not Silver Star, it's not in Germany. So far, European B&M coaster built this century with inversions. Not Demon.
Okay, how I screwed the name up.
Yeah, I know what one you're thinking of, but it's not a Hyper, it's not Nemesis. Let's see. Not Nemesis. It's not in Spain. It's not an invert. It's not it's not a B&M invert. That's not the model. It is in the United Kingdom. So B&M coaster with inversions in the United Kingdom. That doesn't really narrow it down much, but also it's not an invert, so there you go. It's not Valkyria, it's not Osiris, it's not Superman Krypton coaster. And like I said, it's in the United Kingdom. Not Crake, not in France, doesn't have a launch. I guess, is this one of the more tricky ones to get?
It must be, because I'm drawing a blank as
Okay,
well.
Mr. Color Roaster, at least on my end, I'm going to look on the chat updates. Got it right first. It is Galactica at Alton Towers.
Oh, wow.
So, there you go. Do you kind of see how this works now?
Yeah, okay. Some of the guys on the Japan trip are playing this verbally in the circle with each other. Like one would they just go around until they would get it. So, so do I select the next one then?
Sure, yeah, if you're comfortable with it.
Okay, I have a coaster in mind, guys.
Alrighty. And then you look at the chat for the questions.
Yep.
So, yeah. Alrighty.
Let's see. I would have guessed Air as well for that last one, but I keep on forgetting they changed the name. North America, yes. Wood, yes. USA, yes. Japan, no.
Also, if I get it first, don't say it. Just wait for someone else
Okay.
to get it. Because, like I said, we're on delay a little bit.
I have ridden it. It is not Dog Far Coaster. It is not a GCI. No, it's not the Beast. Not Prowler. Not Gravity Group. No, not West Coast. Not Steel. It is wood. All completely wood. Then-ish. CCI, no.
Din-ish.
It had something to do with it from here. Not CCI. I think Din had something to do with them. Maybe I'm totally wrong here.
Okay, so.
Not Cyclone. Not Texas Stingray. Not Boardwalk Bullet.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
Chain. It's a chain park, yes. Not the Beast.
Never mind. No, it's
It
not
does.
that
It did have PTCs. Built after 90. No. Very, very close though. Not Phoenix. Judge War Scream. This you're not going to get this unless you really, really know me. I'll give a hint. Am I allowed to give hints?
Sure. Yeah.
This was my 100th wooden coaster, or 100th coaster period, not my 100th wooden, just my 100th coaster.
Interesting.
That nobody's ever going to know. Not at Cedar Point. Not Wild One. Mr. Cola Roaster, it is not. No,
Okay,
I didn't
so
get
it's
stung on
defunct.
it. It's defunct.
Ooh,
Not Jackrabbit.
interesting.
Nope, not Raging Wolf Boswell. I thought for sure people would get this. Nope, not Ozark Wildcat. Not Kennywood. Nope, not Six Flags. Not Villain.
Wow.
You're going to get it. Somebody's going to get it here in a second, I can tell. Nope, not Rattler.
At a chain park, yes, right?
It's at a chain park. Color Roaster, you have it. The chain.
Okay. I think someone just got it.
Stanford got it, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that must be it. Hercules.
Yeah, that was my 100th coaster, and I didn't realize I rode it. That was my 100th, so I got to the hotel that night. I was like, wah, wah, because it wasn't that great of a ride. So.
Oof.
Okay, so.
There you go. All right, so I have my coaster now. So, you can start asking away your questions. But let's see.
Hurt your knees.
Yep, just saw that. It is not a steel coaster. It is in the US. It is a wooden coaster. So US wooden coaster is what we got so far. Let's see. US wooden coaster. Oh, and Sean, we're gonna do like 3 more rounds of this between the two of us, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Sure.
Alrighty. Not Desperado. It is operating, so US wooden coaster that still exists. It's not Ghost Rider. It is a GCI. US GCI. that is still operating. It's not Woodstock Express. It's not on the West Coast. Is it colored a prime color? No, definitely not. It's not Gravity Group. It is not Prowler, not Gold Striker, not at a Cedar Fair Park, not Mystic Timbers, not on the West Coast as I mentioned. So far we have GCI coaster that's operating. It's not Thunderhead, not Renegade. Wow, we're going through like all of them almost, it seems like. Not Wildcat. It's not at a Six Flags Park, and it's not at Cedar Point. It's not American Thunder. We're going to go through everyone except this one, aren't we? Lightning Racer. No.
Hi, Joy.
Just hello, Joy. We're doing Guess the Coaster right now. Not at Six Flags. It's not Lightning Racer. It's not Texas Stingray. It's not Roar. It's not at Hershey. It's not. It is in Florida. So we have GCI coaster in Florida, which probably gives it away. White Lightning is the correct answer. Quacken's got it first, as far as I'm aware. White Lightning. Hopefully, me saying it was not a steel coaster didn't like fool anyone, because yes, I know it has like one piece of steel track, but White Lightning is the correct answer. So yeah, there you go. Sean, you ready to go?
I am. Okay, start asking. I'm assuming they're going to get this fairly quick.
Alrighty. Ooh, all right. Let's see.
Okay, U.S. Yes, it is. United States. It is steel.
Okay, so that answers that.
It is steel. Yeah, Joy, they used to do it in like old Ace magazines and stuff like that. That's the only reason I know they did it. It is not Expedition G-Force, not Little Phantom, not Launch. Steel, yes. Not Intamin, not Wing, not Six Flags or Cedar Point. It is operating. It is not Demon. Not Cedar Point. Not Arrow. Not Vekoma. No, it's had the same name its entire lifespan that I know of. Jacob, yes, it is B&M. Yes, it has inversions. It is not a floorless roller coaster. It is not East Coast. It is not RMC. It is not Kraken. It's not Manta. Not Superman. It is an invert. Not Hulk. Not Stand Up. Not Hydra. Not a Cedar Fair Park.
Okay.
It's an invert, not Afterburn, not Goliath. Oh, Stanford got it again. Great White.
Oh yeah, shoot. I totally forgot about that one. Wow. Yeah, that would be one of the last ones anyone would get, probably. So that was a good pick.
I don't know why it just popped in my mind. I was like, sure. I mean, I wrote it last year, but boom, there it is.
There you go. Alrighty. Alright, I have my coaster as well now, so ask away your questions. We'll do 2 more rounds between each of us, so that means 4 in total, 2 for each. So there we go. Alrighty. Let's see. It is not in Asia. It is a steel coaster, so we have that down. It's not in the US. It's not Hair Razor. I love the random guesses just out of nowhere. Maybe you'll get it. Steel coaster is all we have so far, though. It is in Europe, so we have steel European coaster. It's not an Intamin. It's not a Wacky Worm. I would not give you guys a Wacky Worm. That'd be way too difficult. Not Medusa. It is in Germany. So steel German coaster. Fabio's not been hit by a goose on it. It is from S&S, so S&S coaster in Germany, which probably narrows it down a lot. It's not Nessie. It's not Mock Rides. It is in Germany. So SNS coaster in Germany. It does not have inversions. So SNS coaster in Germany. Yes, it has a launch. Quacken got it again. Ring Racer at Nürburgring in Germany. There you go. And then you got it. Okay, so Sean, you got
Well,
it
no,
like
don't keep. I just do mine out there. It's just by chance that he gets the same time I did. He has it. I just do it out
yeah.
there.
Sometimes it like messes up because I've heard like sometimes it like shows up differently, but yeah. Ring Racer is the correct answer. Sean, you got yours or are you still thinking?
Okay, yeah, I have one. Okay. Okay, go for it. I'm just gonna go for this one.
Alrighty.
Terrible coaster. Yes, that would be terrible for Pablo to get hit. No, not in Asia. Yes, USA. No, not defunct.
Okay.
Nope, not Japan. I will be very, very amazed if you get this. Not Terra Medica. Nope, it's in US. It is steel.
All right.
Nope, not East Coast. Not wood. No inversions. It is operating. Not Intamin. Not B&M. Not it's a smaller coaster, but I wouldn't consider it technically a kiddie coaster. Not East Coast. No, it's not 200 feet tall. Not B&M. It's not 100 feet tall. Not California. Not Intamin. Not Texas. It is not a chain park. It's not Hopkins. It's not Arrow. Not Gerstlauer. Not Pennsylvania. I could give a very, very big hint here.
Nah, I say we keep going.
Okay, Gemini, nope. Schwarzkopf, nope.
Shoot, all right. Steel coaster, no inversions.
Not Texas Tornado. Not SBF Visa. Not SNS. I will say there's been a manufacturer that was mentioned earlier in this during news that's kind of under the radar, and they make it. Not Mac, not Custom, not Myler, not Penfari. Built before 1990, yes. It is not Runaway Mountain, not Zamperla.
Ooh, what one was mentioned in the news? Now I'm forgetting.
It was one I had a special tie to.
Okay. Oh man.
I said like, wow, that's being built by, if you remember that. Not Nevada, not in Arizona. Built before 1980. That I don't know. No, manufacturers from the United States. Oklahoma, nope.
I don't think we mentioned it, but
Men's Doggy Dog Coaster, no. Max's Doggy Dog Coaster, no. That's not that. Not Oklahoma. Not Premier. Oh, somebody got Chance Rides.
Okay. Oh.
Not Adventureland.
Before 1990?
I don't know if it's been there.
Okay.
But it was manufactured. So is it out? No, it's not Alpine Bobsled. Slinky Dog Dash. Nope. He got it technically. He Quakens.
Quacken. Swiss toboggan.
Toboggan.
Oh, nice.
Chance coaster.
Yeah.
There's one in Little America.
I mentioned toboggan earlier too. Wow. All right. Good guess there, Quacken. Wow. Let's see. But I guess this next one will be the last round between the two of us. And so I am my coaster. So start asking away. This is gonna be an interesting one. For sure.
Trying to think.
Airtime Troll's favorite coaster. Yeah, definitely. Yes, it is in Asia. So far we have Asian coaster. Not wood. It's steel. Not Gravity Max. So Asian steel coaster is what we have. Let's see what else comes in here. This is kind of a... We'll see. It is not in China. So far we still have Asian steel coaster. It is not in Japan. It is not a hyper, and it is not Big Boom. So let's see. Japan, no. Wiener Prater, no. South Korea, so we still have, no, it's not in South Korea, so it's Asian coaster, it's Asian steel coaster is what we have. It's not Supersonic Odyssey, it is in East Asia, it's not in India, it's not Dragon's Run. Yeah, this one probably is going to be tricky with the tips. It's not Eagle's Fortress, no. Zamperla Volair, North Korea. That thing has like a super long name, but I think it does anyway, so I wouldn't do that. No, it's not North Korea. It does have inversions. And it is operating. So Asian steel coaster that is still operating with inversions. It's not in Vietnam. It's not in Hong Kong. It's not in the Philippines. It's not Capital Bullet Train. It's not Taiwan. And it's not the United Arab Emirates either. So, shoot. Steel Asian coaster that's still operating with inversions. I think that's what we got so far. Maybe manufacturer, asking what that is would help out. That would probably go a long ways. Civilian satellite, Vekoma. Yes, it is from Vekoma. So there you go. And yes, it is in East Asia. So yes. Sit down. Yes. And no, that probably gave it away. Singapore. Yes, it is in Singapore. Thank you for the 2K subs. It's not Mongolia. It's not Knott's Relocated Boomerang. Like I said, Vekoma. And then Civilian Satellite got it. It is Battlestar Galactica. I would have taken Cylon or Human as well. Super weird. Everyone got it around the same time. Battlestar Galactica is the correct answer. Like I said, that was going to be a weird one for me to... I wasn't going to do it like specifically one side because that would have been unfair. But yeah, there you go. Battlestar Galactica. Singapore is Southeast Asia. So that counts, right? No, because I said, is that not East Asia?
Well, I mean, it falls in that area. I mean,
I thought it fell into that area. If I screw that up, then that's my bad.
No, you're fine.
But there you go. And then Sean, you have the last one.
I have the last one, and this is a doozy. I am going to be very impressed if someone gets this. Okay.
Alrighty.
This is a very, very, from what I understand, a very rare ride.
Ooh.
And I've ridden it, but I'm curious if anybody can get this.
So then...
No, it is not USA. Not Australia. It is defunct. It is not a Sidewinder. Nope, not Ohio. It's not in US. It's in Europe.
Ooh. Let's see the best way of going about this. I don't know if countries would be, but we'll see.
Nope, not Germany. It does not have inversions.
Ooh.
Not Spain. Not wood. It is steel. Not Italy. Not Austria. Not France. Not UK.
Wow, we are going down the list.
Not Wild Train. Netherlands, yes.
Let's go. Okay.
Oh, he got the Netherlands, so not Wallaby Holland. Nope.
Mm.
It's not in a chain. It's not even in a. Well, I take that back. It is a chain, but it's not a theme park chain that I know of. Nope. To be honest, I'm going to kind of screw this up, and I don't even remember the name of it. But if you tell me the location, you'll know where it's at.
Huh.
I don't even know if it even had a name.
Oh. Hey. And so I assume it's not at it wasn't at Efteling.
No.
Oh man.
I will say it's not at an amusement park, but it's at an entertainment type thing that's in other cities in Europe as well. Not a Thunder. I don't even know what that is, Imperial Coaster.
Wait, we clarified it did not have inversions?
It does not have inversions. I can tell you a stat right now that I'm not even sure RCDB would carry. And it's the shortest coaster I think I've ever ridden in my life. But it also had an elevator lift.
Huh. Yeah, I really don't know that.
And it had a turntable.
What the heck?
You will be amazed at the ride manufacturer. No, it is not 100 feet.
Is it not? Someone said Reaper drop right to Doom. Is that?
I don't know what that is.
It was a coaster that was in a church, I think.
What did it do though?
I don't know, but it was in a church.
because I wrote it, this was partially in a church. It looked like.
Wait, then that might be it. I think that might be it.
It was a mock ride. Custom.
Yeah, that's the one. He got it right. Yeah, that's it. Reaper drop right.
Amsterdam Dungeon. I wasn't sure that was the name of it. I didn't know the name, so that is it. He got it.
It's at the Amsterdam Dungeon, right?
Vince. Yeah, and Vince, I don't know if you've ridden that, but like we went through this whole like hour and a half like thing about Amsterdam's history, like that they have actors and everything, and then they take you in a dark room, put you on a single, 4-car like mock coaster car, like their mouse. You go up a lift hill, you do a turn, and you go down a drop, and that's the ride. Then the thing is over. So very good. I can't believe wow.
I was surprised I knew what it was.
Yeah, I can't believe you knew what it is, but yeah, I knew it was some sort of church thing, but you can't see it because it's all dark inside.
Huh.
At least when I wrote it, it was the most bizarre thing. I mean, we weren't allowed to take cameras anywhere in the thing, and then I have this series on my channel, Europe from 2007, coasting in Europe, or whatever it's called, and we're in the RV in Amsterdam. And I'm like, how was Amsterdam Dungeon, guys? We all thought it sucked. So it's all of us saying, don't ever go there on camera. That was literally the only review we had of it. So,
Interesting.
Oh, I didn't know it was an emotion coaster. I wouldn't have been able to tell that because there wasn't any laterals on it, really.
They only made 2 of those. The other one was at Linnanmäki.
Yeah, I've done that one. That was a prototype. Really? When Kings Island was looking at stuff to put in for around the year Italian Job opened, like 2003, when they were researching rides, they had called me, and I had ridden that in I wrote it in 2007, so this had to have been after that. Whenever they were putting something in, I remember Jeff or Marine, somebody called me from the park. I think it was Jeff Siebert when he worked there, and was just like, "Hey, have you ridden that thing? What do you think?" And I said it was fun. I mean, the gimmicky part of it didn't work very well, and apparently they wanted to. They were thinking about looking at that type of design, but I don't know if Mock didn't want to do a different layout or whatever. Or it just didn't work out. So I'm glad
Probably
they
for
didn't
the
get it though.
probably for the best they didn't go with that ride because they
Yeah,
didn't make very
exactly.
many.
So
What was I?
that was fun.
What was I gonna say? It was at Amsterdam Dungeon that's owned by Merlin. I don't know if you knew that.
Yep.
I've actually done the San Francisco Dungeon here in California. They actually do have one. It's one of the newer ones they have. And they
I
have a
didn't
drop
know.
tower at the end of it.
I've heard this too. So they had one in like London. They had two in London or something, and one had a drop tower, and then they closed that thing. I wonder if they just moved
Oh,
that stuff over to there. But I always
maybe.
thought they were just a European thing. I didn't know they were in the States as well. That's very interesting.
They only have one. They only have San Francisco Dungeon. When I did it, I had no idea what it was. Like I was a coaster enthusiast. I had no idea Merlin owned it. I had no idea um like anything about it. And it was themed to like the like San Francisco, like, like old stuff, like Gold Rush stuff like that. Um but it was
I,
interesting.
the one we did, they had all these actors that were just playing their character, and they were very abrasive and very loud. And we were there with this like family, like these kids that were like 8 or 9 years old, and in it, they cuss and everything, and profanity doesn't bother me, but I tend not to do it when there's younger folks around. And um, one of the characters, I won't say what he said. I'll do the PG version, but he looked down at this little kid who was scared to death because this guy's in this big costume, and the guy's on these big boots and everything. He looks down at him and just in pure like comic fashion says, "Hey kid, you look like beep crap," but he didn't say crap. Said the S word. And that little kid just started crying, and they didn't break character. They're like, "Get him out of the room if he can't handle it," that type of thing. It's just they're doing their job, but I'm just like, holy crap, man.
That's
That's how I remember
crazy.
that place. That and the little tiny coaster that lasted 10 seconds, but yeah, I think they took the coaster out if I'm not mistaken.
Those places, if anyone's ever been to one or has never, don't like, I mean, I know we did different ones, but those are weird. Those are like really
They're
weird.
really weird. Yeah,
I
you don't
did
feel
actually
right when you're
enjoy
in them.
I actually did enjoy the San Francisco one. It was really weird. I think we did it with we had a foreign exchange, or not a foreign exchange, but there was a program because I did French for 2 years where we could have a student host a student for a few weeks. We actually took him to that. So that was so weird. But we also took him to San Francisco to do like the actual like real stuff and all that. So um, yeah, but there you go.
That's
Really weird
awesome.
place. That'll bring us to end of stream Q&A.
Okay.
Any last questions you have, you can ask them, and that'll be that. So there you go. And then once again, thank you, Sean, for coming on.
Oh,
It's been a
anytime.
blast
Thank
doing
you.
this.
Thank you for bringing me. You guys don't know, but he had originally asked me to do this months ago. I can't remember exactly when. And
It
I just
wasn't that
told
long
you,
ago, I don't think.
well, you
But
had sent me an email or something. I just told you I was taking a break and all that stuff. And during that time, I didn't think I even really want to do another. Nothing against anybody that does
no, it's
these.
fair.
It just wasn't my thing. But now I'm glad you asked me to do one because these are fun. And just seeing everybody. Since I don't do any other social, oh, thank you, Joy. Uh, because I don't do any other social media and I don't get to talk to a lot of people and I don't coaster events anymore, my interaction with enthusiasts is limited to these things and replying to your comments on videos and stuff. That's it. But that's what works for me. I just, because the frantic nature of my life, I would never have time to one. I would love to do what you do, and plan all this stuff. I just don't have the time. I know it's the biggest cop out answer in the world, but
It's fair. No,
my
totally
my
fair.
life is just constantly busy, but I need it to be that way. When I'm not busy is when I get really bored. And when I get really bored, I don't do anything, and I prefer, I have time to relax and everything. It's just this was a lot of fun. So thank you.
For sure. No, like I said, it's great. It was great to have you. Now it was great to have you in March. It just always is great to have you on. So
Anytime. And one of these days, I'll ride a coaster with you at a park. I always tell that to people. Like if you guys see me and just wave me down and say, hey, I want to catch a ride with you. Just it's that simple. You know, there isn't any of these. Well, let me pencil you in at 2:33 to ride a coaster. I can see that for doing all this elaborate stuff like what we're doing here now, but to ride a coaster, you get on and you go. It's as simple as that.
do people do
So,
that?
they I'm not going to name names, but I've been around two people in the last probably 5 years where people have come up to them wanting to ride a coaster with them, and they had absolutely nothing going on, but because of their persona, they were like, well, they took out their phone. What if we meet back here at 5:30 and between 5:30 and if that's their way of doing things, I'm not going to judge them. Just very foreign to me. And
Yeah.
and if you're going, another kind of pet peeve is if you're going to make an appointment like that, then stick to it. Don't
Yeah.
do your best. And that's why I don't do the park meetups or any of that stuff. It takes a lot of time and effort. And I know it sounds like a selfish thing, but I'd much rather be wanting to ride coasters than to wait for an hour and wait for more people
Yeah.
to wait to ride more, if that makes any sense. So,
For sure.
yeah.
Let's see.
So keep up the good work with you too, man. You're doing good stuff. And, I always tell people like some of the younger folks will just be like, oh, somebody just recently on my channel recently, or maybe it was last night in the stream. I can't remember. They wanted tips of how to get, a bigger channel. And I said, number one, don't think about the numbers. Don't think about being big.
Yeah.
You take that out of the equation, then everything's fun. That's what it's supposed to be about, fun. So
would have to agree 100%. I'd say the worst time of doing this was when I was like trying to get to 1,000 subs, and I'm like, how do I do that? I kind of wish I mean, I'm kind of happy I did do it, but I'm kind of happy I laid off of it. Because
Right.
I don't know, I didn't love the content I was pumping out back then. So like actually creating it, this is a lot more fun to do for me, and I think everyone else. So there you go. Let's see. Question: what's the coaster count for both of you? I don't know if you still keep count.
I keep a track record. Now I'm conservative of how I count as far as just the way I count. Right now at 1062.
Nice.
Long way to go.
Yep. I got 96 right now. So
what do you think 100 might be?
I have no idea. Like, I actually don't know, because the problem is I'm in California, and it's just like there's not really anything that I'm like, wow, I want to make that my 100.
Have fun with it. Put your
Yeah.
track record away until a month after you ride a bunch of coasters and figure out what your 100th was after. Trust me, it can be a trip just to do it that way, because I never once have marked a milestone for anything. I just had them as they go.
All right.
And you'll go bonkers. I know a lot of people that they went to Hershey Park and their 100th was going to be the mine ride, and they didn't want that to be their 100th. So they didn't ride it in another coaster that they really wanted to ride, just so they could make the coaster they wanted to be 100. So they skipped. They didn't have time to ride the rides they missed because of the way they did it. And
that's
I'd rather much get everything under, ridden. I'd rather get it ridden than try to plan all that. I understand why people do it. I mean, for my 1,000th, I held up a blank piece of paper in Magic Mountain's train station, or the station for Apocalypse, and just a blank piece of paper. And Rick, my friend Rick, is the one that put the numbers on the paper in post. So
nice.
But well, cool. Well, this was fun, man.
For sure. Let's see, but guess we'll go answer a few more questions, and that'll probably be the end of it, because we are getting close to 3 hours. So
I know,
which is kind of like the threshold I wanted to get to. So if you have,
good, okay.
if you
My things
see,
haven't told me they're low energy, so that's good. That
okay,
means they
that's
last at least
good.
3 hours. Yeah. I say that now, and you watch in the next 2 minutes, I'll hear a little bing. Yeah,
Let's see.
88 mLs per Hz. Okay. What shockwave like backwards? Which shockwave? If you mean the stand-up one we were talking about earlier,
We talked about it
terrible
earlier.
backwards. Terrible backwards.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It will screw your neck up.
I don't. You said you don't think that they do allow that anymore. That's probably a good thing.
Mm-mm. They used to do it when Ace would be over there, and then when European Coaster Club would visit the park, and then I think some locals complained that they were getting like special treatment or something. The park released a statement at a coaster event once, and I don't think they believe if they do it strictly under the radar. But I'm glad I did it there on those trains because there's no way I would even attempt to do it on a Togo train. I don't care how much money somebody would pay me. There's just no way. And I'm glad I did it, but I don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
I hope so, Joy. I need to get to that park. I really want to go
Glenwood
there.
Caverns.
Yeah, I know they had that fatality this year. That's terrible.
Yeah, and it was right operator error, so
Yeah.
that was not good.
If you could ride any coaster backwards, what would you choose? Ooh. Just to do it, it would snap my neck. Not a good idea at all, but the Beast. Yeah, the Beast is the reason I'm talking to everybody here. Let's just be honest. That's the one that got me into it. So, not the best coaster by any stretch of the imaginations, but I think we're gonna be in for some fun with the Beast. I think I think it's gonna be kicking some major butt soon. So we'll see. But do you think Conneaut Lake Park will? I don't know. See, ever since I've been an enthusiast, just like a coaster profile, that park has been like this. So I don't know. I mean, I haven't been there in over.
I think Conneaut Lake is. I haven't shared the news because there's not like really anything concrete, but I think it's basically as good as gone. Sorry to say, but actually for the ride any coaster backwards, I have a really twisted one that I want. That's Skyrush.
Oh no!
Oh my god,
You like that ride though, don't you?
I told you it's in my top 5 coasters I've ridden. I know you don't like it.
If it got new trains, I wouldn't have an issue with that ride. It's just those they work for some people and they don't work for other people. I've given it 2 rides, and that was enough for me. I just said I don't know the first thing that layout does after the first drop because I'm fighting the pain. Like I can't tell what it's doing. It's that bad. It's the only coaster in the world that I've ridden that's like that. And I went in there totally open minded. Like people were just being crybabies. No, it hurt. So, Coaster Humans.
What?
It says Coaster Humans. Do you think that's a good idea, or should I scrap the idea? I don't know what that means. Like
I don't know. Like as a idea. Nah, I don't know what you're talking about there.
Saltiest for never riding. Oh wow. Well, it's a bad example, but I never got to ride Windjammer. I saw it operate. I saw it being taken down. I have a exit sign from the ride, but I've never got to ride it. So I feel guilty having that. That was given to me. If somebody's ridden Windjammer and wants an exit sign, I'll give it to you. So it's like this little circle thing.
This one, I'm gonna have to. It's between 2 of them, and these are parks I've been to. Granted, they're not defunct, but Canyon Blaster at Adventure Dome, that one kind of sucks to have not ridden. And then what's the? And I wanna. There was one other one, but shoot, I don't. There was some other one I was thinking of, and I forgot. But we'll go with Canyon Blaster Adventure Dome. That definitely is one that I'm like.
Eagle's Fortress. I would love to run that. Jeff rubs that in every time I see him. Big Bad Wolf was one of my favorites.
The other one was California Screamin' when it was themed that way. I'm so mad I didn't ride. I was too scared to ride it when I was younger, and I missed out on that. So that was really unfortunate. But
Joy,
yeah.
I hope so. Uh, I hope to be writing it. That would be great if I could. I mean, if it's soft open in March, I'm going down to Florida again for work soon, but I won't have any time for any of the parks. So I promised myself, since I had such a great time in Florida a couple weeks ago, that it wouldn't be 6 years or 5 years before I get back down there. So I need to get back down there.
I mean, 5 to 6 years might not be the worst thing in the world with them getting Epic Universe and all that, but
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to have to go there before then because that could very well be delayed too. I mean,
that's true.
I watched Islands of Adventure be built, so it's not like I can't watch a park be built and not be excited about it. That was really exciting back then, you know.
For sure.
Will I both be at Pantheon's opening day? I doubt I'd be there at opening day. If there's a media day, maybe I'll be there. I well, I can't give. There was something I was going to say about that, but I'm not going to. Marty, yes, Boardwalk Bullet is phenomenal.
Someone was asking if it was worth a long drive, Boardwalk Bullet.
I need to ride that again because when I rode it, it was in the worst condition it had ever been in. It was a day before it got retracked, like after opening year.
Wow,
And
literally the worst. Yeah.
it was the worst. As a matter of fact, I called Mike Graham of the Gravity Group to tell him like that thing's doing things that it's not supposed to do. The trains are. I just wanted to just give him a little, hey, you might want to check your ride out type of thing. And he said something like, oh, please tell me you're not trying to ride it right now. I said, no, I rode it tonight. And he said, tomorrow the track will be off of it. And we drove by like at noon and parts of it had track missing. He was right. So I wish I would have got it just a little bit later, but he told me that it was in real bad condition then. So
wow.
but with their rides moving forward, if they use that new track, you're not going to have to worry. That track is 30 times stronger normal than the normal wood coaster track. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. That's Boardwalk Bullet is maybe my top bucket list coaster for Texas. I've never been. It'd be between that and or Iron Rattler or New Texas Giant just because of the value it has.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any other questions? If not, I think I'm gonna end it right around here. It's literally like right
Okay.
at 3 hours.
Yeah,
So
go for it. It was fun.
alrighty, I think that's gonna be how it goes. So once again, thank you, Sean, for coming on. If you have any last
You got
things
it.
you want to say, you can say it,
No,
and
just
then I'll.
keep up the good work, and everybody just keep doing the coaster stuff, man, and treat everybody nice. Life is just way too short to bicker about the small stuff. And if you see somebody down on the ground, pick them up, introduce them to a brand new world, and show them a good time. There's a lot of people out there that need help, and they need people to pick them up and kind of shake the dirt and dust off of them and get them back on there. So if you see anybody struggling, don't be afraid to reach out to them because you can help save a life.
Absolutely. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time here on Coaster Hour.
All right,
See you all.
guys.